one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
'Cause every time we try to break it down and build again, yeah, every time we try to make up for something lost, you know, we're never letting go. This time we can reach the sky on a prayer, we go higher than high. Yeah, wide awake, it's a big mistake, 'cause it's something we can deny. But with a love like this, we'll never fall. All of a sudden
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hollistics. And I'm your host, Hollis Mahady. It played the outro video, and it was meant to play the intro video. So hopefully no one left, because the show is just beginning, guys. And we are in a very special episode today. You see, I'm very festive. I got in the mood here, cracked out some of my Irish attire, because I am Irish. So happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you guys out there. And as I mentioned last night, we compared, if you happen to see the episode, I am dating right now, but I'm not dating guys. I am dabbling in dating streaming softwares and platforms. And if you have been here the last couple nights, this is episode 4 for me. Consistently trying to get on here. And tonight, I don't know if this is broadcasting on Facebook or YouTube. It's supposed to be. If anyone's watching it there, I should be live there if this all is working, because the past few nights I've been dating Streamlabs. And I was kind of seeing 2 people. Then I was dating StreamYard. And last night I met someone new. And they're called OneStream. And they may just be not that perfect match, because nothing's perfect, but they're damn close. So tonight I'm trying a different setup, and it doesn't, what's that? Can you hear me? Hold on. I heard someone scream something. Can you hear me? Okay, he could hear me. That's my technician over there. He can hear me. I don't know where I'm streaming. Okay. Well, I guess that's a good start. I played the wrong video. I am manning everything myself. I do everything myself here. Everything you see, every graphic, every video. But back to my dating dilemma. He says I am everywhere. I sound good and we look good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This has been very hard to do, but we've done it. We're here. Hopefully it lasts. So, dating. I've been dating the streaming services, and there are so many to choose from. And as I said last night, I was going out with Streamlabs, and they had the tip jar, my little animation that took me very long time to set up, and the little coins would drop in. But I said, sometimes you have to sacrifice for better qualities you're looking for in someone or a streaming service. And it was last night after I got off from the live show I did. I was like, oh, how are we going to get this all out there? And it was the day before, the hours before I went on my show last night, I had spent, 5-6 hours trying to get this to connect to YouTube and the stream. You have to set up an event and you have to do this. And then I said to Dan, what about that Restream? There's another one, or that. Then we said OneStream. And again, this might be a little boring for people who don't know about this, but like I said, compare it to guys or girls you're going out with, right? Your certain qualities, like that one has like 9 out of 10. That one has 6 out of 10, but they have that one I really want. Streamlabs had that one I really wanted. I really wanted the little coins to fall into the cup, but there's workarounds, right? You can't have everything. You can't, nothing's perfect, but we're getting closer. And last night I said, I just had the idea. I said, remember we used to use this other platform, and then we got rid of it because it didn't fulfill another need. Blah blah blah. Anyway, we went back to it. So today I'm navigating. Hence the intro video that was wrong. It was supposed to be I played the outro video by mistake, but this is my first time using it. We're getting there. I spent all day before this getting all the stuff in here and all the commercials again and all this. So we are here, and that stuff is probably boring, but that's housekeeping, guys. We have to talk about the housekeeping. And the coin jar is unfortunately gone, but at the same time, I replicated it over here a little bit, and you can see on the right hand side, it's my, see, I have to point in the opposite direction. That's actually, I have to do everything backwards. You see that right there? Goals. Um, my little QR code there. That is how, if you're new in the show and everything, you're just getting a feel for it, whatever. But if you've been here and you want to, during the show, if you want to buy me a coffee or send a tip, that's how you do it. You scan the code there and it should open there and you could do it there. And I will be watching and seeing if I get an alert because it won't pop up on the screen, but I will give you just a demonstration. If someone sends something, I will do my applause over here. Oh, yay! Thank you so much. And then, yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Test it out if you'd like to. And then we go here and I say, thank you so much. So that's the workaround to the tip jar. Okay. And as it, and the last couple streams, I had a little bar on there, and that's the bar there. If you could see it, the little pink thing, and it's going up. And I've gotten to 22%. That means $22. And I had on there when it hits $100. And like I said, this is just a goal to get to. When I hit that $100, I'm going to give away a free lyric painting. And now I could show you, actually, instead of trying to bring it in here when I was like disappearing, my head was going in the screen. I have a picture of it now. So let's go to the pictures here and I will show you that lyric. This is what you can win. And if you it's just $1, it doesn't have to be much. Anyone who drops a tip, I am going to find that list. I'm going to put it in a cup. And when we reach $100, when I reach $100, I'm going to pull out a name and you will win one of these beauties. Wait, hold on. Let me find it. See, this is, bear with me. Bear with me. There it is. There it is. There. The album, and also paying for all the streaming software and the millions of dollars it feels, but it's a lot of money to run these softwares. Even last night we had to pay for a subscription for this now. So I may be parting. I think we're going to be leaving eventually StreamYard, because that what we pay is $90 a month for that. And Streamlabs, I bought a yearly subscription to that, and that was $149. And then we need this one and that one. So it costs a lot of money to just run. So again, that's why I always put the tips up. If you enjoyed the show, again, if you're new here, I'm not just saying, give me your money. Like, you got to earn it. If I provide entertainment, throw a buck in there, a couple dollars if you can, or you could buy some merchandise. It's all on my website. And I'll get more into that later, but I'm just raising money. I'm an independent musician. I'm putting my album out, doing it independently. I'm not backed by anyone. I'm not backed by the machine, or, I'm not a trust fund kid. I don't have a lot of backing and all that. So we are here raising the money and we're doing things ourselves. So with the housekeeping out of the way, we'll go back to it later. But yes, it's St. Patrick's Day. And I said, I have my hat on here. And this hat, believe it or not, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And in Scranton, it's a big deal, St. Patrick's Day. And I believe the parade, I think it was this previous weekend. I wasn't there, obviously, but I've been to the parade many times. But actually, the fondest memories I have of the parade in Scranton was when I was a little girl, and I guess I would go with my dad. And believe it or not, this is the hat I got at the parade. One of those. It was always freezing. It was always so cold. And we would go down and just my dad and I, and he would buy me something. I remember, I will never forget, I had the bear on the stick, and I had that for so long. I don't have that anymore. I don't know what happened to that over the years. It was in my attic for a long time. But this is a genuine hat from the Scranton parade in Scranton. Give you a better view of it. And I mean, obviously, I see it in my closet. You don't wear it all the time. You could wear it, I guess, whenever you want to, but it's like one day a year it comes out, and that's today, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I was talking about Ireland last night because I've been to Ireland and I love Ireland. I mean, there's some of the nicest people I've ever met live there, and their accent, and they're just kind, warm-hearted people. And no, it's cool, and again, like I said, in Scranton, it's a big deal. A lot, I guess, a big Irish population. I'm Irish. I'm part Irish. My last name is Mahady, Mahady, Mahady. And actually, my dad told me they used to pronounce it. It was Mahady, it was something, and then it just went to Mahady. But yeah, my dad's side, his ancestors. They were from Ireland, and so I'm part Irish and part Russian. My dad's mom, that side was from Russia. So I'm part Russian, I'm part Irish. And then on my mom's side, she's a different mix. And she had some French and Dutch and all that. So I'm a bit of a mix when people sometimes will say, well, what nationality are you? What are you? But definitely Irish, the fighting Irish. I definitely have a temper. Try to calm that down. That one's called that's Hellistic. That's Hellas when she comes out once in a while, especially during PMS times. Sorry, guys, ladies, you can relate, right? But yeah, so St. Patrick's Day, it was always a good, fond memory. And all those people in Scranton are crazy. They would get up at 7 a.m. and they're at the bar. And I'm just like, I did it a few times when I was younger, back in the days, in my party days. I don't drink anymore. I'm kind of boring. Just drink. Sometimes I drink soda, which is not good for you. As they say in the UK or Ireland, pop, I think they call it, or fizz. I think it was pop. Pop? Was it pop? Because Dan is saying something to me. So, yeah, but I do have my pop. I crack that out. That's my version of a beer. Sometimes I'll have an O'Doul's. I don't drink anymore, like I said. But yeah, if I had one, maybe I would have one here with you. But I don't have any. Oh, I didn't even think about it. But when I quit drinking for a while, I was like craving beer, and I would drink these non-alcoholic ones. And no, it's been a while, so I don't care that much anymore. But yeah, but I don't even know. I would, the way that people can party in Scranton, you know, and the parade there. And I think this year they dedicated it to, aw, I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to cry. But Beansy is Tom Culkin. He was a great friend of my dad's, and I loved him so much. And he was a police officer in Scranton, and I knew him since I was a kid. Went to his house for the parties, and we had such a good time. And sadly, he passed away. But I read on I think on Facebook, one of his daughters wrote that they were dedicating the parade. I believe that's what it said. So those memories, and it was a couple years ago actually when I went back to Scranton. Yeah, when I was in Scranton, like I've moved since. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. But when COVID hit and I went back after my dad passed away, I went to Scranton for a couple years, and that's when I was building Holly's Playhouse, and the commercial I have all about that. The whole story's there if you're interested, you want to watch it. But yeah, I remember going to I didn't go to the parade, but I went to a party at Beansy's house, and he had the best parties, and he had the bagpipers, and he was leading them, and, oh, he's missed by so many, so God bless you. You're having a beer with my dad up there, and you guys are always with us, always watching, and we never stop thinking about you. They always live in our heart. They're always with us, you know? So, I don't wanna cry, but, I feel the losing someone like your dad, and, I cried when I heard about it. I remember I had just moved to Cleveland, and I heard about it, and I was just like, because it was such she was so many memories, and he was a good close friend of my dad, and I miss them both. So God bless both you guys, my Irish looking down on us. And anyway, so on to the next topic. I was talking about the streaming. We got that down. And what else is going to talk about? Oh, so let's see. It's been great that I've been able to put some videos in here and some songs and some music. We're going to have some fun. And it took a while. It took a while to do this, but let's see. Should I play something inspiring here? Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have here. Again, I'm just bear with me. It gets better as we go. The media. Gotta go to your media, and then you gotta pick your video. I have all these video clips I uploaded. Um, like I said, I didn't really pick a topic, but I did make something very interesting. I don't know if I want to get into it yet. It's the comments of the day. I've decided because I woke up today to a comment that really annoyed me, and we're going to discuss it. Now, again, I've thought, maybe as like I said, I'm putting all my stuff out there. Again, I'm back in front of the camera. I've disappeared for a long time. I was building a lot of things, including everything you see here, all the videos, commercials. I mean, these things took a long time, not just to make, but to learn how to do. Because 5 years ago, if you go back to Holly's Playhouse, I think it's episode 7. It's called Introduction to Production. Maybe we'll watch one of the videos one of these days because I was just learning how to do everything I'm doing right now, and it took years, and then you're rebuilding, and it takes a long time. So, we'll go back and watch those, but the comment of the day, yeah, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's see what else we got here. Oh, Dr. Wayne, I have my Dr. Wayne video. So Dr. Wayne, I don't know if anyone knows who he is. I'm sure a lot of people. I think you do if you were into self help and spiritual and purpose and all that stuff. He was one of the first people I found on my path to awakening. You know, when I was living, I'll never forget. I was living in LA and I had just moved out there by myself. I was like, I'm going to the West Coast. I'm going to make it out in the California. And I drove cross country with a guy named Ethan. Ethan was my old guitar player in my band in New York, and he was originally from LA. And I had to drive out there because I had just gotten a new car. I remember I was saving up for it like for months and years in New York because I wanted to buy a car because in New York I didn't have a car. I didn't need a car. But when I was going to LA, all the bartending money I had made, I was like saving and saving because I needed to get a car to drive out to LA, pack all the bags, go to LA. And um, I didn't wanna drive by myself, obviously. I don't even know if I drove. I know we took turns driving, but I knew Ethan and he was going out there, I think, for a tattoo convention because he was a tattoo artist. And, um, yeah, he said that he would drive, and I said, "Okay, well, I trust you, and I have pictures of that day. It's all in Holly's Playhouse. It's all documented." And it was kinda sad to leave, to leave home and to go so far away, but I was excited and I packed all my stuff. I remember I had like suitcases, but I could only take what was in my car. I literally just moved to California with all my stuff in the car. I remember having suitcases. I remember having like a garbage bag full of like shoes and like those totes and things like that. We drove there. I think it took us about a week and a half to get there because we kind of went spread it out, because we stopped places. It was my first cross country trip ever going, Route 66. We stopped at, I don't remember where exactly the stops along the way were. I know remember one was Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was the only time I've ever been there, but I loved it there. It was during the summer, so it was warm. And because I do think it gets cold there, but it was warm and it was all, like I just remember the memories of it being like Western. I remember going into a place and we getting tacos and margaritas, and it was like it was just so much fun. And staying at hotels along the way with, I love hot tubs and pools. So it's like we gotta go in with a pool and a hot tub. And it was warm out then. So it was like you could go out to the hotel pool and I was just living the dream. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm moving west. This is like something you want to do. I wanted to do for so long, go to California. But we finally got there. And I remember I dropped him off at where he needed to go. And I was just on my own in California with a bag of freaking shoes in my trunk and you know, suitcases. And I remember I had plans to meet a friend out there. And I did meet a friend out there and he had a place and then the whole journey began in LA. And I have no idea where I started and how I got on that. The problem was when you're alone, no one's here to say, "Oh yeah, no, you were there." Sometimes I do lose my train of thought. So I really don't know where I was, but let's see. So, oh, Dr. Wayne. So, sorry guys. So, oh, let me go to the chat too because apparently that was another reason. Oh, connect chat it says. Connect chat. Okay. Part of the reason why this Oh, there's someone. Facebook user. Just says Facebook user, coconut water. Pull my name, give me a shout out. I would if there was a name. It just says Facebook user. I don't know. You know what's I would to be honest, I know I'm in 1,000 directions, but that's okay. This is my show. So I could do what I want, I guess. But it's kind of crazy. I'm always prepared for something mean. And I hate looking at my Facebook. I hate posting stuff because people suck, and there are some supportive people, but it's weird. It's like I just have to get over it. I hate looking at comments. I'm like, oh, I say, are they being mean? Are they making fun of me? Or they like, I don't know. It's just, and I just don't care. Okay. So we need a moderator in this room here, I think. Yeah, we'll definitely need a moderator. So, um, let's see. Yes, but what I was gonna say is that okay, I'm gonna go to a commercial. Hold on. Let's go to a commercial real quick because I made all these commercials. Let's play Holly's Playhouse. Here we go. Holly's Playhouse is a raw, real, and emotionally charged docu-style miniseries following the turbulent journey of me, singer-songwriter Hollis Mahady, who left Scranton, Pennsylvania in 2010 to chase stardom in Hollywood. For nearly a decade, I fought to make my mark in the entertainment industry until 2019 when the world changed overnight. Told through a lens of humor, heartbreak, and hope, this is a deeply personal series that captures the highs and lows of a creative spirit navigating sudden change. If you want to check it out, head over to www.vopusaradio.com. Just go down to the Arts and Entertainment channel and you'll find it there for free to watch. This is for the people who think that being creative is not a normal job and that we just sit here and beg for money or something. Here we go. Take a look at this one, Facebook. Hi guys, I'm Hollis and I'm here to bring your creative vision to life. Whether it's designing your video thumbnails or editing your content or recording voiceovers for commercials, I've got you covered. I'm part of the in-house production team at Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network, and over the last 6 years, I taught myself everything from production to post-editing and beyond. I know exactly what it feels like to be stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure where to even begin. And that's exactly why I now offer these services to other people as well. So if you have a project you're working on, you can hit the link below where you can see examples of my work, from commercials I've produced to voiceovers and more. And if you like what you see and think I can help with what you're looking for, feel free to reach out. We can create something awesome together. There we go. And I'm back live. This is good. This streaming service is good. I don't have to keep putting myself back live and doing that. But yeah, and that is my reel over there. And I do a lot of creative work. And when I moved out to LA, it was great. I did a lot of voiceovers. Living in New York City, I did a Con Air commercial, Subway commercial, did a lot of stuff. And now being back in Cleveland, not back in Cleveland, I'm now living in Cleveland. This place is awesome. So I remember when I got my first voiceover in New York City. And voiceovers, the problem is these days, people think that AI does a lot of stuff and you can save on hiring someone human from doing a voiceover. But I've tried it before too, because I needed a voice that wasn't me. I just heard a ding somewhere. But we'll get back to that. I think it's the chat room. But so I did a voiceover for Con Air and for a bunch of other stuff. And I remember in LA, I recorded the demo. But what I was going to say, I was using AI and I needed a male voice because I do all my voiceovers for all my stuff, and then, but you can type something into AI and they could say it. But some of them are so funny, and usually they say a mistake in there. Some of them are good. They'll be like, "Oh, welcome to Voice of the People USA Radio Network." That's one of them, and then but then it says something else like, "Rah, rah, rah." It's funny what they come up with. But I did use it before. But again, here we are, the day and age where people like me are getting replaced. So you need a voiceover. People make a lot of money doing voiceovers that they used to. You could like Tommy Pickles, the voice of Bart Simpson. They're millionaires. They've made a lot of money with their voice. My friend Quentin's a voice actor. He's very successful. And because you're actually acting with your voice, especially if you could do the cartoon voices and all that stuff. I have some cartoon voices. I never did an animation reel. Because I have some characters. I have a lot of characters, and I like doing voices of the characters. So I always wanted to do a cartoon, but actually my band Love Zombies, I have a whole book written and it has cartoons, and I actually started doing an audio voiceover. I didn't finish it yet, but the Love Zombies band, for those who maybe remember that or are watching and might have known it, I always had all these visions, and a lot of we did cartoons and animations, and I wrote a whole story during the time. And there was a great guy out there. Oh, he's still there somewhere, Chris White. He did so many cool Love Zombies for me. The story's done. Maybe we could connect. I just need some illustrations for it. He did some, but um, then we lost touch. We never really finished it. But it took a long time to do all this. But it's all here. Better late than never. And we're going full circle there. But yeah, but my creative services, it's like pay a human. If you're out there and you need a business, you need a commercial done, or you need something for your business. I do intros, I do outros, videos. This is again probably more for people like creative people like me who don't know how to do everything, who started and they'd have no idea how do you stream? How do you make all this stuff? I've made everything. It's taken hours and it took a long time to learn. And even on my website, I have at hollismahady.com. If you go to creative services, you can see all my work there. There's price lists and everything. And I did this because I know how overwhelming it is when you're trying to do everything yourself. It's never ending. And when I first started, I didn't know where to start. It was just using all these different programs and editing, and oh, it was so much. And I've learned tricks along the way, and I've learned what works for me. So again, that's why to make money, I do offer services, and I've gotten some jobs and things like that. But as I said, for a normal job, it's not consistent. It's not day to day all the time, but you make some money and then it holds you over. So I'm always, again, it's the same thing too. It's like I do everything for myself. I don't have that much time to be doing commercials for everyone else, but will do them if someone needs something or is looking for something for their business, a promo. Hire a human. You can use AI. You can use your AI voiceover, but you look at content out there, and a lot of it's like it's the same. You see it, you hear the same thing, and I get it because a lot of people don't want to take the time to create, but I do take the time to create. I create these commercials myself. I don't use AI to create. How could they? Like all my album videos. Hey, AI, here's my face. It's funny because if you go to my TikTok and YouTube as well, they'll take your picture and they make it into like a moving AI video. So there was one or two, and I'm like, oh, I'm putting my things on YouTube, and they're not getting that many views. Some of them get more views, some of them get none. But of course, I put all these heartful ones, and then the one that got the most was this stupid AI video, and I was like, it was obviously not me, but that one got the most views. So I don't know, trying to crack the code and all that, but it's ridiculous. But again, if you're out there, if you need work done, if you need like a creative service or you need a commercial for your business or something, hit me up and we could talk about your project, and I will do other work for people, but it's just, my schedule is pretty busy. So, but we're definitely willing to help other people, especially creative people who don't know where to start, even if you need help or just need advice. Like I said, it's been a long freaking journey, and trying to do everything yourself is like, oh my gosh, you can't. But it's also empowering. It's very empowering because I have a microphone now and I could respond to comments live on the air. So maybe we should do the comment of the day, because yesterday I did the comment of the day that someone commented me, why don't you get a normal job? And I did a whole episode about it. It's in episode 3 in case you missed it. Check it out. That was the comment of the day. So maybe we should check the comment of the day today. And I spent all day switching over to my new boyfriend here, one stream. And I happened to put this in here. So we're going to show this. Hey, I have to get something more funny in there. I just did that really quick. Like a uh-oh. But that's the thing. Why are the comments, I've picked the ones that there are some nice comments here and there, but like I said yesterday, you always pick the one that the one that sticks out is the one that's mean or that rubs you the wrong way, you know? But this was a comment I woke up to because I had posted, like I'll post on my Instagram and then I forget sometimes it goes right to your Facebook and, so it wasn't exactly flooded with support and comments, but I did get one comment. So let's analyze it. If I could find it. It's under my images here. Okay, images. There we go. And I put it in his comment of the day. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here's the comment of the day. Now, now we could talk. We could get into that thing about criticism, constructive criticism, unsolicited advice, support, a kind word, all those things. Because you look at it and you kind of go, okay, first of all, I know who this person is. So is that a mean comment? No, I guess it's not really mean. It's not. But my first comment without a filter. See, the thing is, here's where I said you take the mask off. See, I'm Hollis. I'm real. And my first comment or my first thought was, screw you. Like I'm here for you. Like what you would rather. So what I should do is probably let me take everything off and let me rebuild it. Or actually, why don't I send you over my login information? And because I'm personally doing this just for you, and it's too busy for you. I don't know. I can't. I tried to watch, but it's too busy. It's too much going on. So maybe what we can do instead, I could send you my login information. Then you could log in and you can make all new graphics. You can take everything off. So so you're happy, right? Because I'm just doing this for you. Now, that's your initial reaction. And they say, oh, never write someone back when you're mad. And I'm not mad, but it's one of those things where it's unsolicited advice. Now, and the other thing with criticism, people love to criticize. I would do it this way. One, you're not doing it. I would do it like this. I would do it like this. And here's the thing. If someone were to say, maybe it's a little busy, I have a suggestion. Maybe I could help, and I could help you with that. See, people love to offer their criticism. They love it, but they give no solution. They never say, hey, that's whatever. Your microphone, it sounds like crap, or your thing's bad, or that's broken, or that. It's never followed by, hey, I have an extra microphone. I'm happy to send it to you. Maybe you could try that. Thank you. That's really nice. That's supportive. Okay. But it's always criticism, usually from people who aren't doing it themselves, who've never done it themselves, but they have all the answers and they critique. And it's not just Andy or anything I'm picking on. And again, it could be from a good place, because these are the things which is dangerous with social media. Their comments, you can't read their tone. You can't, it's just, to me, it's like, well, good luck though. It's just like, hey, I wouldn't do it like that. It's too busy. You have to get my attention. Yeah. Like what else are you going to dance? What else are you going to do to get my attention? It's like, well, then don't watch. I'm not for you. That's okay. I'm not for a lot of people. I'm not for everybody. And I'm not going to curse on this podcast. I'm trying not to. I have cursed a couple times, but trying not to. But you think like, screw you, pal. It's just like, you're not here doing it. And if you have some advice, there's a supportive comment as well. It could end kind of like, hey, but you're doing good. Known you from back in the day. good job. You're back out there." Then, and I know that this person is a musician himself, or a creative. Because I remember on one of his videos he posted, I was like, "Hey, good job. Good for you. I'm proud of you. You're getting your stuff out there." A little bit of encouragement goes a long way, and being kind. That's why I hate being mean to people. I really don't, but sometimes they deserve it. People want to comment, and my husband, Dan, he gets so much criticism, and people are just nasty and hateful and mean, and they do the same thing. They're not the ones doing it themselves, but they have all the answers. They know what we should be doing, what we should be saying. They know how they would do it, but most of the times they're not doing it. So they that's what I call the little sideline critics who like to judge and are pretty much just low vibe, who want to bring down the parade, bring down the party. They just want to criticize. And hey, it's just, I feel like in this world there's so much meanness, there's so much hate, there's so much mean comments and lack of support. I try to be the opposite. So when I see someone post something, and again, I'm not the greatest at it. I've been off social media for so long, I can't stand it. But you see someone trying, you don't go out of your way to say, "Well, maybe I'll watch. I don't know what you're doing." It's like, "Oh, maybe you should get a real job." It's like, again, try not to curse too much here. And I have a beep button, like, you know, but so that's the comment of the day. And it's just like, be kind. It doesn't hurt. There's a wonderful woman I met, and she always says, "Mm, just be kind. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anyone, to say something of support. Don't say anything at all." And again, if you have to be able to take criticism, because you get better when you and not criticism, but like constructive criticism. When I was in a band and music and I had managers, and I would get mad because I have, when you're criticized, you kind of crawl into and you feel like bad about yourself. Go, "Oh, you're right. Maybe I suck at that." But it's really about the delivery and how you talk to someone. And you talk to someone who's trying and say, "You know what? I bet you if you tried this, I bet you might get even more followers or even a bigger audience. Try it like this." You have to be kind to people, and like, because people will take constructive criticism, but I like to take it from people who are successful. When I look at someone and say, "Wow," I like to look at someone like I see where they are, like someone else does a podcast and does really good, or a musician who I really admire or something. Like, how did they do it? If they were to give me advice, like, I'll take it. But most of the time it's people who are like not even doing anything themselves that have all the answers. It's like, why would I take advice from you? You're going to criticize me, but you have to learn to take criticism, or you won't get ahead. Like, especially being a singer and everything, "Oh, that's not good." And again, it's the way you talk to people. It's like, have heart. You've been there before. It's not easy to go out and be vulnerable and put yourself out there. And you just get hate. It's hate, hate, hate. But not just. There are some nice people. Like, I'll do a comment. Tomorrow I'll try to pick out a nice comment because there's less of those. But and there's a great high school friend. He's awesome, and he's been supporting me, and I love him. And we'll talk about him, and we'll put up one of his comments. It just helps sometimes when people are just kind. I say, people, no one knows the path you're on. Everyone's on a different path. It doesn't really hurt to be kind. So with that said, let's spread a little joy here, and let's talk. When I got off the subject of Dr. Wayne, but I got onto it because I have a video. It's only like 2 minutes. And unfortunately, his head's cut off a little bit because I imported it and it's the wrong size, but it's all about the message. But he's the book I read when I got out to LA. And that's why I started the whole story about the shoes in the car and just being there. And I really learned a lot when I was out there. And I discovered all this stuff. But Dr. Wayne, I love Dr. Wayne. And sadly, he passed away. But his spirit lives on. Through books, people who, maybe someone watching this never heard of him, and maybe you'll go watch a video because he helped me. It's crazy because you have friends in life you don't know. A lot of them don't support. They don't care. Like, they're just, they'll leave a comment, they'll be mean or whatever. There's some okay, or they disappear, and then I look. Oh, found more friends on videos of like a guy living in Hawaii who I just like, we was watching him. He was more supportive, than people, So let's see if I can find it here. But this is one, and he inspired a song I had. It was called "Someday Is Today," and he said, "Don't die with your song still in you." So for people who like to criticize, like I said, or why are you doing that? Why are you still doing that? Didn't you get a normal job? Like I've explained yesterday, I suggest watching episode 3 if you haven't seen it. There's certain things, when you believe in yourself and you have a higher purpose and a calling, you will forego the materials of life, the pursuits of life when you feel you're called to do something, not because of your own ego. I lived in Hollywood. I went through a lot of stuff. When you're younger, you want to be a rock star. You're pursuing things maybe not for the most righteous reasons. And, it was always in my heart, but then you get wrapped up in these things. You're in a game. And but you all these years later, it's like it's just something you can't deny yourself. And not everybody, I think I wouldn't say not everybody has that, but I do think everybody has that. And I think people say, "Oh, I'm not creative. I can never play a music. No, I'm just not a creative person." I think everybody is. I think that just it's buried sometimes underneath things, or they never got a chance to explore it, or they just said, they were ushered, "Oh, I better get the job. I better get," and they deny that part of themselves. Because I do think that everybody is naturally creative, but it's really it's like it's like a gift, not a gift. It is a gift, but it's a gift and a curse sometimes. But it's something like if you nurture it, if when I was in 5th grade, I got the Christmas solo. That was what started it all. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I could sing. And that's what started this whole journey. It was what song was it? It was like, Christmas makes me feel whatever happened and what will be. This is what Christmas time means to me. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks. There's a part in the very beginning that I think it's cut out of most of the songs. You don't really hear about it. It's like, Christmas makes you feel emotional. But that was my first solo in 5th grade at Prescott Elementary in Scranton. And after I got the solo, I think that's what started me. Because I was like, oh. And I loved playing the music and organ. And, I was just like being on stage and having fun. I was like a goofball and everything. But yeah, that's what started it all. But I think I talked about in another podcast how I ended up in a band and all that. Oh, it was on the No Skips podcast. But I know I'm all over the place. I have no problem filling up like 2 hours of talking. I talk a lot, but I have a lot to get out. I've been missing for a while and a lot of stories to tell. So Dr. Wayne, back to him. Let's get enough of me for a minute here. Let's watch a little Dr. Wayne. And this is like I said, he was there for me in my darkest hours. God bless your soul, Dr. Wayne.
The next principle I call "Don't die with your music still in you." And who better to quote than Thoreau right here in Concord when he talked about some of us hear a different drummer and we must march to the music that we hear. But all of you, everybody watching, everybody here in this beautiful parish, all of you have some music playing. And all of you have a heroic mission. There's no accidents in this universe. We all show up here with a purpose. There's an intelligence that is a part of everything and everyone, and all of us are connected to it. And too many of us are afraid to listen to that music and march to it. You out there, I know you have a book you wanted to write. I know there's a composition you wanted to compose. I know there's a song you want to sing someplace. Maybe you want to raise horses out in Montana. Or maybe you want to open up an ice cream shop on Cape Cod. Who knows what it may be. Maybe you just want to travel and see the world. Maybe you want to go into a relationship with someone but you've been afraid to, but your heart says it's the right thing to do. All of us feel something. And in Leo Tolstoy's famous novel, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, he asks this question that would be terrifying to me. He says, as he has his accountant from Moscow lying on his deathbed, contemplating the horror of this question, what if my whole life has been wrong? I've known what my music is. It's playing right now. Next.
There you go. You see why I love him? That's like, and that inspired the song "Someday Is Today." It was like, I'll have to play it. It's a demo. I'll have to dig it out. I want to re-record it. And but first, before I say that, I want to go to the chat room and say, hi, if Phil's still there, hi, Phil. Phil Jones from the UK. And he says, oh, I think I could put the comments up here. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Like, there's a way to show it on the screen. But, show. Here we go. Phil says, AI can never replace the heart of a song. So true. And he also says, yeah, and that's what I say, and I've talked a lot about in the first like 3 episodes, and this is my 4th episode. But it's a whole should I get into all that? But I'll just condense it, it's a crazy time we're living in. We're living in through the like a shift, literally the shift of human. Oh, good. Phil is still there. Hi, Phil. Okay, good. Aw, thank you for popping in. If you missed the episode last night, I was saying how much I love the people in the UK and how much different they are than Americans, and how when you say to someone in the UK, "We'll meet for a cup of tea," they will meet you. Like, I was telling a story about when I lived in LA, and like the people are just so flaky, and they're just like, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll set up a time and and they don't show." And I was just saying I have fond memories. I said I didn't love the rain and the gray so much, but I love the people, and the people like you that I met when I was out there. Those are experiences that we're talking about. It's just experiences and people. It's something I was talking about last night. Money can't buy that. You can have all the money in the world, but you can't replace those memories. So yeah, but it's nice to have you here. So apparently I am on Instagram. I guess this has worked because Instagram is the worst of trying to figure out these stream keys and all that. But guys, I think we found a winner. Should we give this streaming platform a round of applause? Watch this. Thank you. Thank you, OneStream. I can see my chat room. I'm on Instagram. Yes. Yeah, a cup is something you don't mess with. Yeah. Okay. I never drank so much tea ever in my life until I moved to England, obviously. They really do drink a lot of tea there. I had the tea with milk. That's what I had. And I experienced Marmite for the first time. And I liked Marmite, actually. It's funny because not that long ago, I think it's still in my cupboard. I was telling my husband about it. I was like, you have to try this stuff. It's like I can't really explain it. You just need a little bit. It's kind of weird. It's like bitter. And then there was Vegemite. And then there's like, is Vegemite better than Marmite? I think I like Marmite better. But it was something I only had in the UK, and I didn't have it for years until I left. And then I was like, was craving it. I was like, maybe I'll get it. And in our supermarket, there's like the international aisle where it has some stuff. It has those, what was it, that Arrow bar? And my favorite UK candy was those minstrels. And we don't have them here. So the UK was definitely different. And I had a lot of tea, like I said, and Tesco's, right? No one knows what Marmite is. I do. I've traveled the world. Yes, I know what Marmite is, and that's so funny. No one wants to know. So you're not a fan of it. I don't know. I liked it. It was weird. I remember one of my first memories, like, or being in the UK for the first couple weeks. It was like when I first got there, I was shown around by some friends, and they were like, you have to have a Pimm's and iced tea and a Pimm's and lemonade or whatever. And then I went to the cafe, and they were like, you have to try the Marmite on the toast. And I was like, what is this? And like I said, it was kind of weird. And then it grew on me. So I guess you're not a fan of the Marmite, but, and I like this, you said. So I never, yeah, I never listened to the opinions of people who I wouldn't go to for advice. It's so true, right? People, like I said, was saying, it's like, the worst is when you don't ask for the advice, like, and people, why do people do it? I would never go on someone's video and just be like, oh, your stream looked really busy and it's this. Well, good luck. I just think that's kind of like, but especially when you don't ask for it. Now, if you ask for someone's advice, you expect it, you can't, it's hard to take criticism sometimes, especially because, like I said, I think it's really about the way it's delivered. And as I say to Dan sometimes, like, Dan has been doing shows for 20 years. I mean, he has a really big audience. I mean, he's in the political world, so it's different. But I'll ask it, like, what do you like? And because we love each other, and he never wants to hurt my feelings. He's nice, but he'll say, okay, maybe try. He says it kind, where you're not like, you don't get anger immediately defensive. Well, I'm doing it and you're not. You get defensive and when people say it the wrong way. So you have to nurture the hearts of people because especially creative people when they're you're putting your thing out there. Someone's like, "Oh, that song sucks." I mean, it's mean, but some music isn't that good, I guess, and it does suck. But it's like, how do you say that to someone without making them go away? Because their next song might be great, but that really, I think, damages people, and they may never sing again. I hear stories like that. You're younger, and a teacher was like, "Oh, that was bad," and then they never sing again. It's like you have a responsibility. That's like the worst thing you could do to someone. But I feel oh my gosh. See, I love having a chat room. See, this was what happened like, I didn't have the chat. I was looking on Rumble, and I don't know if anyone's on Rumble or if it's all connected in here. This is Facebook and Instagram, and did Dan say Amy's out there? If you're watching, I love you. I love you both. I love Aaron and Amy, and they're from Maine. That was my previous location. And it's just cool. You meet these people along the way. And this is why I wanted to connect to the the Facebook and the Instagram, because there's a lot of people out there. And, sometimes people just don't know you're doing a show or whatever. And, you kind of pop up and they're like, oh, and then they pop in like Phil. I haven't talked to Phil probably in 10 years. Phil, it's been a decade. Is that crazy? I still have my hat on. Should I keep my hat on? It's been a decade. Wow. But yeah, like, and how sad is that? Not sad, but how sad is that? It's like taking me like a decade to get back really on stage again. And I sang, "This is my stage." But that's not totally true, because I did do stuff a couple years ago in Scranton. But life takes you on a freaking journey back to the Dr. Wayne and the spiritual side of it all, and destiny and the paths you take, and thinking you're in control. That's sometimes like you have let go of control sometimes, because I've had so many plans. I'm going to do this and it's going to happen like this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to, from everything. From Ollie's Playhouse, it didn't end up exactly, to Maine. It certainly didn't exactly end up how I imagined. I didn't think I'd buy a house and have to move and sell it and this and that. And aw, well, I still love you too. It's so good to see your avatar. There you go. There he is. There's Phil's avatar. But yeah, sometimes you just have to let go, and that's it. And not in a defeated way, like I give up. Trust me, if I gave up, you can't give up. But sometimes you just have to let go, and then you get into the whole spiritual stuff. Like I say, the philosophers. I can't say that word. Why can't I say that? Philosophical. That's not it. Philosophical. Not philosophical. That's it. Oh, here, words of wisdom here with Hollistics. But yeah, you can't plan certain things in life. Like I said, you never know where life's going to take you. I never thought I'd end up in Cleveland. And I'm so happy I did. This is something I didn't plan, which really felt written in the stars, because it's just like, philosophical. Yes. It's something you can't plan, because in my head, when I went back to Scranton, like I said, this is all in Holly's Playhouse, and I encourage you go watch it, because especially the first episode and then all of it, I thought I was going to be there for a while. I thought I was going to be there for, I don't know. I never planned that I would go back to Scranton, because I was living in the West Coast, and it was, like I said last night, 5-6 years ago today was when 2020, the COVID hit, the coronavirus hit. I was working. It was St. Patrick's Day. I was supposed to go to work that day. I was working in a casino, and I had just moved to Las Vegas, and I was supposed to show up, and I was excited because I was like, it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm probably gonna make a lot of money because it's tips. And I was bartending, and I was a cigarette girl. I was walking around. This is in Holly's Playhouse too. I have had some of the oddest jobs, and I realized I was a good salesperson. I sold these light up bunny ears with such a ripoff. They were like $20. They lit up, and these Elvis sunglasses, and I sold cigarettes, $21 a pack for cigarettes in Las Vegas. But I would walk around and I would sell this stuff, and it was a commission, job where if I sell every pair of bunny ears I sold, it was like $5 I would get. And I would be out there, and people would be, even them, because a lot of people in casinos, they're drunk, and they're like, oh, there's a girl, we should buy the things. some of them, they didn't want to buy it. And they'd just be like, these are $20 for this. You get them at the dollar store for $1. And I I hope you ordered your paper from Dunder and Mifflin. That's funny. Yes, from Scranton. That's where the office. And isn't Phil, you would know, but you're from the UK. Isn't here, I'll show that one. Isn't the UK or the office, didn't that start in the UK? It started in the UK, and I think it was a town name like Slough. I was probably wrong. It was Slough or something like that. And then the version in Slough, I'm sure, again, help if you know this, correct me if I'm wrong. But like, it's like a whatever, a rundown town or it's not like the most happening spot to live, and they're all in the office there. But then they picked as their, the American version of Scranton, Pennsylvania, of all places. That's where I'm from. But Scranton is some people knock Scranton. Scranton, if anyone out there from Scranton's watched, Scranton is its own thing. I mean, that's where I grew up, and I don't live there anymore, obviously, but because I did go back and my mom's still there. But Scranton's one of those things where it's a piece of you. And it was Slough. It's a shithole. And that's what I have to defend Scranton a bit here because people do, Scranton has a lot of stuff going on now. I was more impressed when I went back. There's stuff there. It's not just like I've been to towns that had nothing. I mean, no offense, Maine had like nothing compared to Scranton. They didn't have anything. In Scranton, there's movie theaters, bowling alleys. There's places to go. There's malls. Like Maine had stuff you had to travel. Where we lived, there was not much. What's the word? Like choices, like things to choose from. But this happens sometimes. I got lost where I was. So let's see. Oh, Scranton. Scranton looks lovely. Yeah. See, and they're they care. There's hotels down there. There's, again, I didn't end up staying there because it was always just like I was going where trying to do the opportunity and where there was more music scene and all that. But they do have a music scene there, and there's bars, and like I said, it's a lot more than other places I live. So I guess that what I said, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about The Office, and they compared this Slough to Scranton, and I don't think it's as bad as people think it is at all. I don't. It is definitely. It's a character. Pennsylvania. Oh, Rumble. See, I got my. Okay, so we have, let me go to, no, I don't think Rumble integrated. I'm sorry, guys, lifetime. Rumble didn't integrate into my chat here. So what I'm going to do is I've had a few comments on Rumble. So I'm going to look on Rumble because I don't want to miss anybody. Hold on. Let me go over to Rumble. And in the meantime, I've just been talking and talking. Gosh, it's been an hour. I can talk a lot. I'm going to have this prebiotic cola, and we're going to test this live on the air because I've never had this before. So apparently, they're making strides. And I know soda's not good. And in the UK, they call it pop, right? I would be like soda. And also I say hoagies, and a lot of people say heroes or subs. We say hoagies in Scranton, and we also say wimpies. And I think that I don't think anybody knows what wimpies are outside of Scranton. Not blimpies, wimpies. They're another word for sloppy joes. And that's a Scranton thing. Okay, so let's go over to Rumble. Phil says Slough has a music scene, but it's just a pity that it's still set in the 80s. Yeah. That's kind of how Maine was, where I lived in Frenchville. It was like behind the times, which has some charm to it. It's like, oh, the olds. And I'm an 80s baby. So I like the 80s. But let's see. So we're going to go over to the Rumble here. And if anyone's having a drink, it is St. Patrick's Day, guys. So cheers. Cheers to everyone. Get out your drink. I'm having a prebiotic cola. How adult is that? Okay. Let's see. We're going to go to Hollistics. Oh, episode. I don't know, Dan. I'm going to have to. Oh, here it is. I'm live here. Okay. I have 37 views. I see myself live. Wow. It's so weird. You're trying to do this all yourself, and you're like, oh, hi, everybody. Okay. So I'm going to go to the comments here. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's play a little commercial. I'll look and then I'll be back. And you're watching Holistics, and I'm Hollis Mahady, coming to you live from Cleveland, Ohio, in my living room. All right. What do you want to see a commercial of? Oh, here, Phil. Phil, I'm just talking to Phil, but everyone else out there. I don't know if you've seen this is one of my new songs. It's just a little teaser. It's all coming out. My website is brand new and updated. So here, check this one out. I'll play a couple more commercials and then we'll address some of the comments in the Rumble chat.
Life is a gift, the game we play.
Oops. See, I'm still figuring this out. I was gonna do another commercial real quick. Here we go. Here, Phil, this is a blast from the past, but this doesn't apply to you because I'm pretty sure you have most of this music. Need some new tunes to listen to? Why not try the Hollis Mahady Music Collection? As I move towards the new, I'm closing an old chapter with gratitude. To celebrate the new music on the horizon, I've gathered my complete past collection and made it available all in one place. The collection includes 2 full albums with my previous band, Love Zombies, Passion Fruit, and No Slow songs recorded live at Abbey Road Studios, the Be Honest EP with Love Zombies, Hollis original songs, Hollis cover songs, a bonus Christmas album. And this collection represents the journey that brought me here today and the doorway into what's next. To purchase the music collection, head over to hollismahady.com and go to the store. All funds raised go directly towards promoting and advertising my new album on my own label, Voice of Freedom Records. Thanks so much for supporting independent music. Little video. This footage was shot in the beginning there in Maine, in Frenchville. So here we go. Voice of Freedom Records. Putting out my music myself. Music has always been such an important part of my life. It's been a constant, a lifeline, a force that shaped who I am. I understand the heart of an artist, those who create not for fortune or fame, but because the music lives inside them, because it's what fills their soul. That's why I created Voice of Freedom Records, not just as a home for my own music, but as a place where one day others can bring their voices to the world. In a time when algorithms and fleeting trends seem to decide what we hear, we focus on the quality, not just the quantity. We search for music that matters, music that speaks to the heart, that stirs something deep within us, that reminds us what it means to be human. Because at Voice of Freedom Records, it's not just about making noise, it's about making music that moves souls. There you have it, right? And you know what? It's funny because Dan's dad, oh, please watching, a special shout out to you. If you, I know you guys aren't Irish. You're more Italian. I don't think you're any part Irish. But Dan's dad, I love Dan's dad. He's awesome. And he's a fan of the show. And we need those words of support, you know? And he said last night, like, he never gives criticism. He gives so much support and it's so encouraging and it's so kind and I love him. He's awesome. But he said something and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." He said, "Maybe you could play some music during your shows too." And I got a couple videos up to play a song and actually, like, I know I'm bouncing all over, but the comment that my comment of the day that said, you know, "Oh, I would do it like," or, you know, Harold, whatever. It was, what was it again? But there's a point. I'm not rehashing that, but I'm just saying it reminded me of a song, and I'm gonna play the song. And you know, and it reminded me as soon as I heard that, I heard that song in my head, and it was like, Can't please everyone. Well, you got to please yourself. Because that's the thing. You're not going to be able to please everyone. I made a joke about saying like, okay, let me just go and declutter my screen and not and make sure the tip jar because this guy doesn't like it or maybe someone else doesn't like it. But and then someone else says, well, I need the tip jar, and then you find yourself, oh, I better change myself so this person likes me or change myself for this so they'll tune in. If you're going to be changing yourself all to try to accommodate other people, it's just you can't please everyone. So you got to please yourself. I'm so thrilled with it. I'm happy with it. Again, I would love to get the little tip jar back, but I'm happy with it. If you can't please everyone, you got to please yourself and the people out there who do enjoy it, how as it is. I was very honest. I'm very honest about this journey. This is my fourth episode. Things will get better. I don't have a lot of help. I'm doing it myself. These things it's a learning process. It's growing pains. They're growing. But so we'll go to this song. So does anyone know that lyric out there? I bet you Timothy might know that in the Rumble chat room. Timothy, do you know that one if you're still watching? I will say, unfortunately, I don't have my Rumble comments in there right now. So I got to get that figured out. But MAGA Institute says Happy St. Patty's Day. What does it say? Aaron Gobraz, fizzy drink. And he says, you've got to be cruel to be kind. Yep. I'm passionate about Bulgarian folk dancing. And he also says, Manny B is in there. And Manny says, that's because humans are simple. Be creative simply for the simpletons. Laugh out loud. Keep up the good work, girl. Well, thank you so much, Manny B. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you. I appreciate it. See, there's a kind comment. There's a nice comment. And then back to the comments over here in this chat. We have Scranton looks lovely. Yep. I still hear you. Be honest. Yep, that was from my Love Zombies days. Be honest. So back to let's do a little jam here. Before I say it, if anyone's watching, do you know that lyric where it came from? Well, it was funny because I looked up the song and they said that, oh, it is Manny. Manny B is our Manny. That's what I thought. I didn't know his name was Manny B on there. I was like, how many Mannys really are there? So you're the first Manny I know. But thank you, Manny B. I love you, Manny B. Okay, so I'm just gonna play this song. And again, I don't know. I was talking about it last night about playing licensed music and stuff. I don't know. Like I'm like, we'll play these songs and we'll get in trouble. But I think if I'm on the screen, so we'll dance and it's not really a dancing song, but it reminded me of this song. And while I play this song, I'm gonna open my prebiotic cola and take a sip. So this is a nice time if you guys are still with me here. Grab yourself a drink. It's St. Patty's Day. If you're having an adult beverage, enjoy. And we're just going to listen to a little song. But I think it will be okay to play this. Like I said, what they do is they will demonetize you. And I don't make much money right now anyway so from it. So, hey, I don't think, like I think the worst they can do is just they take it down or they copyright. You can't make it monetize it or whatever. So I'm not sure how to do all that yet anyway. So well, what are the odds that they find it? But I don't know. They have systems, but I'm pretty sure you hear people play music videos and on their streams all the time. So I'm just, I'm a business owner now. I want to go by the books here. And before I play that, just a quick reminder: if you are enjoying the stream, you can go over to buymeacoffee.com. You could buy me a coffee there, and if you buy me a coffee or enter a tip, drop a tip, you will automatically be entered to win one of to do the buy me a coffee. It's just you scan this with your phone or you go to this website down here, buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You could do a one-time donation. There's different amounts, $1, there's more. And then there's memberships too. So I have a little membership community there. If you join the Backstage Pass, I'm doing actually a completely different podcast. It's called A Comedy of Errors, and it's all about music. It's all about my album. I know I talk about music, obviously, because it's part of who I am here, but this one really is going to go into the background of how the story came about, how what the songs are about. Some of them I'm going to play music before anyone else hears it because I am literally on this journey now, releasing everything myself in real time. The album is done and I've created stories and costumes and all this stuff for it. It's just, I can't wait to do it. It's a comedy of errors. And so that podcast is for that. You become a backstage member. It's like $10 a month. And all that money I raise, or any money I raise, that goes towards pushing this out there and advertising. Because I don't have the big establishment machine behind me. And I don't have money from a record label. I'm putting it on my own label because I wanted to release my music on my own way. But, usually people need money for this. These are advertising costs and social media boosting and all that. I've talked about in the other videos. You need a lot of money to break through, but it's just about giving it the best chance. So that's why that community is there. I'm going to actually film my first one pretty soon. And I'm going to put that podcast up there, the Comedy of Errors podcast. And that's another podcast where I do want to get guests on, talk to people about the music industry, more about, it's literally really going to be focused just on music. Here, we're going to talk about everything I'm talking about, from relationships. Last night we talked about relationships. Holistic health is a big one. Health, I want to talk about alternative healing, like all that kind of stuff, and playing songs and stuff like that, what we're about to do. But yeah, that was my little, a PDA? Not a PDA. PSA. Hey, there you go. I have to remember to say it sometimes. You're going to go over to play it. You just drop something and you can win something. I like to give back. I want to provide value and maybe some entertainment and really just the connection. Like again, I keep saying, if you missed the first couple episodes, they're a little bit longer, but I was getting my feet wet. I revisited the reconnection movement, and this is just really like I could have a format, and I think it's going to get better as we go with like little segments and funny things and all that. But it's just to be here consistently, and I'm showing up every night at 7 o'clock from Monday through Friday, just to be here, to be a human, to talk to have some funny times, to talk about stuff. I go deep, I go weird sometimes, but that's why I'm here. So let's go over to the stream. Let's see, did anyone? There we go. He knew it. Timothy never fails me. Hey, of course you would know this one. So here we go. We're going to add it to the stream and we're going to have our drink now. I'll finally be quiet. Here we go.
I went to a garden party, reminisce with my old friends, a chance to share old memories, play songs again. When I got to the garden party, they all knew my name. No one recognized me. I didn't look the same, but it's alright now. I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. People came from miles around, everyone was there. Yoko brought a walrus, there was magic in the air. Over in the corner, much to my surprise, Mr. Hughes hid Dylan's shoes, wearing his disguise. But it's alright now. I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La da da, la da da da. Played them all the old songs, I thought that's why they came. No one heard the music, we didn't look the same. I said hello to Mary Lou, she belongs to me. When I sang a song about a honky-tonk, it was time to leave. But it's alright now, I learned my lesson well. See, you please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La da da, la da da da. Someone opened up the closet door, and out stepped Johnny B. Good, playing guitar like a ringing a bell, and looking like he should. Now if you gotta play a garden party,
Sound drop.
I wish you a lot
This
of
part.
love. But if memories were all I sang, I'd rather drive a truck.
Everybody.
And it's alright now. Learned my lesson
What?
well.
Yep, music board?
See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La da da, la da da da, la da da da.
Hello, music. But
And it's alright now, yeah, I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.
you know, it's funny because when I typed in the song because I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, I bet. Hold on. Stream. There we go. And I think I just glanced at it. Somebody said that he wrote that song after getting booed off of stage in Madison Square Garden. It was something like that. I should probably get my facts right before I say it. Before I say it. But it's he's out there, he's probably getting booed, and he wrote that song, and I never really listened to the words besides that one part, but he says, if this is your experience, I'd rather be driving a truck, because musicians out there. And I just saw someone in the chat room, Big Bad Davey T. Hi, Dave. That's Dave Tweedy from California. Wow, I haven't talked to you in so long. Thank you for dropping in. I don't know if you're still here. I saw your message there just now. Wow, it's so nice to have you here. I guess I am live on Instagram. So thanks for checking it out. We are just jamming here, and Dave's a great musician, great drummer. And I remember, oh, good, you're back. I was just saying what a great drummer you are and a great musician. I remember our experiences in Age of Aquarius we did together. Yeah, Dave is the one. And I actually have a show on the network. It's not my show, but it's called Rage of Aquarius. It's not my show, and I said, I got to use the song in the beginning, the Age of Aquarius. It fits perfectly. But it's so funny that you popped in, and you were in the music video that we did. And that was so long ago. Can you believe, Dave, that was 10 years ago? Over 10 years ago, I think. Excuse me. It's the fizz. This is the prebiotic cola. 5 grams of sugar, no artificial sweeteners. It's okay. You could definitely taste the difference. I have to admit, and there's 30 calories in it. There's still caramel color. That stuff's not stevia extract. Yeah, I mean it tastes a little different. There's 30 calories in it. In Diet Coke, there's 0, but it's so bad for you. I know. Thank you, Dave. Dave says, yes, 10 years. Oh my goodness, right? I remember. Made some great music. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you helped with that. We did a couple songs together, I remember. But it's funny, just the other day, because these past couple of years, I've learned how to edit more videos and do things. And Age of Aquarius, we did a video together, and Dave's in it. And on the phone, I just watched it again for the first time in a long time, because I wanted to do a kind of a lyric video, and just with some more the astrology and the stars and all that. And at that time, I had no idea how to edit videos, or I remember looking for someone to edit the video and all that. And now I just wanted to, because I always love that song. I always wanted to do another video for it. And the fact that we started using the song in the Rage of Aquarius, I was like, maybe I'll do a little lyric video. So I did. I just put some like moon. It's actually on my YouTube channel. It's there. And I just did it a couple like last week. So it's funny that you popped in. So we're just jamming some music. And you know what? I would say like songs like that. I have a couple of my favorite songs. This is why I love music so much. It's just the power of music. The power of music to make you feel a certain way, to bring you back to a certain time. And yeah. Editing is a lot easier now. Yeah, because I remember I was like, I had nowhere. I would use iMovie sometimes. I use Final Cut, but I have heard that DaVinci is easier. But I spent a lot of time learning Final Cut, and I have some of those plugins and all that stuff. So I use that now. But a couple of people told me they're like, dude, DaVinci is very easy. But you get used to something, and you're like, okay, well, when I have the time, I'll try to learn something simpler. And there's the cap cut, and editing is a lot easier these days, but it still just takes a lot of time because AI can throw stuff together for you, but especially for my album and the videos I'm making and everything, it's just like how, I'm going to tell them exactly, like I see it in my head and I know how I want it to look. So, I think AI is good. Good. Yeah. That's cool. So DaVinci, super easy. Think AI is great too with like, or we weren't saying AI, but AI is great with cutting up clips and automating and all that stuff. But even with editing, it could be simple, but I just still think it's time consuming. And it's like Pro Tool or Logic. Oh yeah, yeah. Final Cut, that's just where I started. And I just like I'm comfortable with it finally, and I just don't have the time to learn another one right now, but I want to learn more about I've heard of DaVinci. So maybe I'll check that one out too eventually. But anything that makes it easier, a little quicker. But I think editing does take a long time if you're starting from somewhere and you have exactly how you want it. Because yeah, you could throw it into like AI and give them all the clips and have them make something and all that. But I think sometimes it does take a while if you're putting things in there. You know what I'm saying? He does know. It's just time consuming. Even the quickest video, it's funny, and I don't have it. It's on my Instagram. If you see, it's like one of those videos, and Dan comes in and he's like, "We're making fun of it." We're like, "You still editing that video?" And you're like, "Oh, because you get sucked into it." You're like, "Oh," and you all of a sudden you're like, "It's 7 o'clock." Time goes so fast when I'm editing. But I really do enjoy it. I like it. I love editing. It's just it's time consuming and it goes fast. Time flies when you're having a good time. Because I'll look at the clock like it's 7 a.m. and it's like 7 at night. There's some days, and I was making like a lot of commercials and content, and it just takes time. And it's funny though, because he's like, it shows you can't stop. You're just like, oh, it's like 3 days later. I forgot that you have to go to the store. I have to take a shot. Like, so it's just kind of a spoof. It's like a joke up there. But that's how I feel when I'm editing videos. It's like you're just in the zone. And you know how that is with music, with Pro Tool, like everything. You're just like, time goes so fast and you're in the zone and you're loving it. I do like editing. Sometimes I just, I don't like losing so much time. I'm like, oh my gosh, another week went by, and I just finished like all these intros. Every video I've made them all. It's taken a long time. But I was saying about, this the power of music. Music is, especially old music. Like, well, I'm going to play some of my favorite songs here. Maybe we'll play another song. But, like I was saying, this podcast is a lot about just me showing up and being here for people and connecting the humanness of the human. We are in a weird time in the world where we are facing something the world has never seen before with the AI coming and merging. And, it's in my first, and David, if you saw my first couple of podcasts, it's talking about a lot about the AI and what it means for artists and musicians. And there's some good to it. There's a lot of good to it. But there's also that like, whoa, there's some stuff that's not so great. So it's just kind of, you're in a weird time in the world where we've never actually experienced this. Like I've said it in other podcasts. It's just like, you go through evolution and like, back in the day before cars, there were what? Like there were cars, there were horses, other ways to get places. And before with music, there was cassettes, and then there were CDs, and then there was now all of a sudden there was records before that. And then later came Napster and MySpace. And then the next thing's coming, Spotify. And now you don't need CDs, and now you don't need tapes. And, I know people still have some of that stuff and records and stuff. But now we're like, okay, now we're humans. Now humans, this is just different. This is not like no more cars. It's like, okay, so a lot of it I was talking about is just AI is coming, you can't escape it. But like, remember, it's going to become so fast and editing is easy, everything's easy, everything's easy, everything's convenient. And it's like, well, we got to still remember that humans are important too. And the people who have those ideas. And yes, it's great that you can get your ideas out and I can do all this myself. Like I've talked about to someone else just the other day, David was just like, it's empowering. It's good. It's like, I don't need to waste 5 more years looking for a bass player anymore, like, but back in when I was getting into music many years ago, I spent so much time, oh, well, you need a bass player, you need a drummer. And it's just like, oh, and now you don't need those things. Again, good, bad, you're replacing real, like if I'm going to play live, it'd be great to have a drummer and stuff. But recording, you don't really need it. You can find other ways. And for me, I've had bands my whole life, and it was just like, oh, I cannot deal with more bandmates. So it was like, okay, I need to get backing tracks, learn how to do it and all that stuff. So I finally did that. So that again, that's some of the great things about AI, or you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on your music. My first Love Zombies album, there was a lot of money that went into that. That was a real drummer playing, which again, there's good things and bad. Like it's good, but this one was a lot. This album was still, to me, it was expensive, but it wasn't like anything even close to that. I didn't have, I had programmed drums, it's just, this is the way it is. I'm not hiding it. I couldn't afford to have a drummer come in and pay that. And they're tuning the drums and that's on my watch and I'm paying for it all. So yeah, it's programmed, but you get my music, this music I have now. Yeah. You can't even really tell. I mean, it's a drummer like Dave, you probably can, but I think most people, you can't, if you tell the difference. But I don't mean to insult you because I know that you are a great drummer. And if I could have a live drummer, I probably would pick that, but I couldn't afford it. So I didn't have it. But again, that's the discussion. Like there's good things and bad things about it. And I think a lot of people are starting to talk about it because it's just that, like anything, we are in a crazy time. And I know, Dave, you're right. No one cares anymore. We're in a crazy time because we are in the age. I know you're a bit older than me. Not I don't think that old that much, but people my age, older, maybe a little bit younger. If you were born in the 80s, 70s, we are the last of the people who have our foot in that old world where we do remember what it was like. Like there to do that, to have the recording, to have the analog, to have the tapes, the CDs, to have, hide and seek, where you weren't like just on the phone all the time. We are the last of that generation because everyone now born into it, they're automatically born into this like paradigm where it's like you're 3 years old and you have, whoa, you are? So you are like, so we're not like millennials, I guess. I am a zennial. So maybe you're a Generation X. And then there's the boomers, but there's a reason why I said there's the millennials, which are born in the 90s and the 2000s. I was born in the 80s. So we were the last of the generation to grow up to a certain age. I didn't get Facebook or I didn't have a cell phone in high school. Now everybody, oh, okay. Yes. I was going to say, I didn't think you were 68. I was like, but time goes fast. Look, it's been 10 years since I talked to you. Literally. I know maybe a comment here and there or whatever, but but as I said, this is what this podcast is about, the reconnection movement, real humans only and all that. It's just, it's sad. And I say it's in the first video and it's just a video on my page, the reconnection movement. I'm wearing like a red sweater and I read the reconnection movement. And Dave, I wrote that when I was in LA. It was before ChatGPT. ChatGPT did not write that. I was at the Sunset Marquee. I'll never forget. I tell the story in the video, but some people haven't seen it or whatever. And it was like, I remember it channeled through me. And I was like, I have to write this. And I named it the reconnection movement. And I was in the Sunset Marquee 10 years ago. Now it's only gotten so much worse. And he says, no one cares anymore. No one cares about a lot of things anymore, not just music, but like it's just like, oh, it's everyone's fast paced world. You can't get anyone's attention. No one wants to talk to you. There's no one's attention spans. The greatest thing is in TikTok, especially with music. Oh, no, they're not going to, you got to stop the scroll. You got to do something crazy in the first 2 minutes to keep their attention. I mean, Forget about music with heart, soul, good content, lyric. What? It doesn't matter. You have to do something to catch them. You gotta like I said so many times in my other videos, you gotta like do something cool. I gotta pee on camera. They're getting 5,000 views. It's so stupid. But this is where we are, right? This is the world we're in now. And as I said, it's up to people like us and the people who remembered to try to, get those communities together. And I like I said, it'd be great if younger people were joining and, watching this and stuff. But you know who you're kind of talking to more. Oh, no one, they just want to like it. Okay. He says, I mean, no one cares how you make it. They just want to, yeah, that's true. Like they don't, and it's sad to say, they don't care if it's a real drummer on there. I mean, it's just a different time. And I would say no one cared, like, that's my experience. I feel, at least I've seen it, it's like such a so busy world. Just like, no, like like I said, I was putting my new music out. I didn't put anything out yet. It's just I've been teasing like my one song. And it's not even the point anymore, like how to make it. You said it's not even as hard to make it anymore. And it's not hard to edit. How to get anyone to see it. Like that is the biggest thing. You even people say on YouTube, "Oh, there's billions of people in there you're exposed to." On TikTok, there's millions. That's TikToks you're going to get discovered and all that stuff. And that was from years ago. But people, that's the biggest platform for your music to get discovered because you're exposed to billions of people. But then it's just, okay, how do you get it? You have to boost the post. You have to pay, and maybe some people really do break through. There probably is. I haven't cracked the algorithm. I know there's ways and there's hashtags and there's all these things to help you break through and to stop the scroll. And there's the classes and there's hooks and you got to do this and this and this. And it's the world we live in. Hello, Elias says hello. Hi, Elias. Elias is in the chat room. Hello, Sageway3. Thank you for being in here. I'm so glad to see you. Yeah, there you go. It's true. And me too. I'm at peace with all of it. I love what I do. So my hope is others are having the same experience. Yeah, and it's true. It's and you would understand this more than most. It's just a calling. It's something that you can't deny. You can't. And yeah, can you make a living through it? I mean, some people can, and it doesn't mean that you suck if you don't. It's hard. There's a lot of people out there now, and now it's just like, oh, but it's just that's why all these years later, it's not even I'm not trying to move back to LA. I don't care. I don't want to be a rock star. I'm not trying to be a music star. But I like what I've done. I love my music. I'm proud of it. I wrote every note myself. I paid for it. I wrote every freaking lyric, every instrumental part. I've done everything. And I'm proud of it. And I won't, yeah, it would be nice if other people heard it. But now it's just like, yes, I did do it for myself. But you do also do music and you make it. So, like you said, so hopefully someone else might hear it and they might be impacted by it and say, oh, I love that song or, you know? And now it's just like, oh, it's going to get lost in the noise. Will it ever make it out there? Will anyone ever see it? Because, like most musicians in the beginning, you don't have every single post you put out $20 to promote it. Because a lot of times no one gets seen. And every time I go to post something, do you want to promote it? Do you want to promote it? Every time someone on Instagram is like, oh, I like your music. I'm going to share it. I have thousands of followers. I'm like, thank you. And then followed by which package do you want? It's for me to share it. It's this and this. And then you wonder, some of these accounts are made by other AI accounts that are just grabbing followers. And I said in my other video, this whole follower culture, it's like, oh, your value. How many followers do you have? How many followers? Like these people pay for followers. It's just like, yeah, I'd rather a smaller amount of people to connect to, like people in this chat room and people who might find it and like it. Like I'd rather 100 real fans, 1,000 real fans than like, oh, look at, she has 89.5 thousand followers. She has 1 million followers. And, and like, yeah, it's just, there's a lot, but this is this life. I'm Bristol, PA working on a musical. Money has nothing to do with any concern. Yeah, it's true. It is. We don't do it for money. Problem is sometimes, these things cost a lot. It's expensive. These microphones, the streaming, that's not music, but I have a studio and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I moved to Cleveland, Ohio. I love it. But I have a music studio and, it's cost me almost $400 a month just to have it. And so that's another cost. So if you're not making a lot of money from it, these things cost money. It costs a lot. And that's the thing. In PA, what musical? I love musicals. I love musicals. Actually, I did a little cover song of You'll Never Walk Alone, and it's on my YouTube. And I recorded this. It's not the best recording quality, but I recorded this one day in a bathroom. I had a microphone and I put a little but that's from a musical called Carousel, I think. And I actually never saw the musical. I just always loved that song. And I know Elvis did a cover of it. And that's on my it's on my buy me a coffee as well. On my I love musicals. Jelly's Last Jam. I didn't ever heard of that. And Sageway says musicals rock. You like musicals? What's everyone's favorite musical? I know mine. Jelly's Last Jam. Is that like I don't know that one. Is that new or is that like an original thing or it's amazing. I like that. I'll have to check that out. I've never heard of that. I love musicals. I used to live in New York City. It's from the early 90s. Okay. And is it like a smaller production? You're in Bristol, PA working on a musical. Is it like a community thing? Because I know here, maybe he's coming to Cleveland. West Side Story. Okay. That's one of Greg Hines produced it. Okay. West Side Story. That's Elias's favorite. That's the thing with the hands. Grease is a close second. Grease has a lot of good music. I saw that live in New York City when I lived there. I remember, and I was a dancer when I was younger. I went to dance class, and remember we did themes every year. And one of them I think was musicals or it was movies. And I just remember I was like had the pink jacket and I was doing the Grease dance and all that. Yeah. Okay. So the community one. Yeah. I never heard of that, but I'll have to check it out. Jelly's Last Jam. I like that. It's Paddy. I'm just checking my little chat in there. Very cool. So my favorite, but has a real, okay, yeah. That's so cool. So is it playing then, so you're working and getting it together and then you having like opening night and is it running for like a long time? I love musicals. Saw it in New York City once. So my favorite musical is probably Phantom of the Opera. I love that. And probably also because my dad loved it, and I used to play it all the time on the organ. That's when I grew up. I was playing the piano. I learned so much. Played all musicals, and that was like all the Broadway. It was like I don't know. It was just that they gave you that to learn, but that's maybe why I'm so fond of it. It's like it's good memories, and I would sing Broadway, and I would always play the Phantom of the Opera because we had an organ, and I played the piano. But I started on the organ because my dad had this organ and he wanted us to take organ lessons. I didn't really want to in the beginning. I'm like, I don't know. And it's my dad's fault. He made me take them and then I never stopped music. God bless you. I love you, Dad, and I miss you every day. But I would play the Phantom of the Opera. My sister would too. My sister's better than me, but she would be like, we would be like dun 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 on the organ. And my other favorite is Les Mis. And I know Phantom is so good. Phantom, I love that. It's just such great songs. And and what's great is like karaoke tracks. I'll put a karaoke because I have sound systems. I put the karaoke on and I'll just be singing like Cats, Memory, and some of my favorite show songs. But the Phantom of the Opera, and it's a good story too. It's like sad, but Les Mis. Do you hear the people sing? Like I would go like yes, like I love Les Mis, and and they were both my dad's favorite. And my dad he loved musicals too, and he would be up in the attic, and we had a gym room, and I'd come home from school, and he'd be like on the treadmill, and they'd be blasting like Les Mis and all the. Yeah, and I remember when he came to New York, I surprised him. He came to visit me when I lived in New York, and I surprised him, and I got him tickets to Phantom of the Opera, and him, and Marianne, his girlfriend, we all went. Aw, I think I still have the ticket. I have the ticket. I saved it when I went back home. It was on the thing. But yeah, Les Mis, like musicals are so fun. I love them. Part of my career has gone this direction. Yeah, that is awesome. I tried out for a Broadway show. I think I missed my calling. Like, maybe it's never too late. Never too late. I am in Cleveland now, which brings me back to never thought I'd end up here. We'll get to that in a second. But if I didn't go down this road of rock bands and all that, all that, I always wanted to be on Broadway. I remember I tried out a couple times. I didn't get it, but it was the Green Day American Idiot thing. I think that came to LA. I was like, I would have been so good in that. I didn't get picked for that. But then there was something else in New York I tried out for, and I got past the singing part. And I was like, ooh. So they actually picked me to move on. But then it was the dancing part. And it was like in those movies where they're like, they had you to pick it up really fast. And I got nervous. And they're just like, okay. So they showed it to you one time. And they're like, do. Now go. And I'm just like, huh? And I just like, yeah, I went to the back of the line. Because I could catch up. I did dance, but when I'm under pressure, I get nervous. And if I have to do it really fast and learn, like I need just a little bit of time. But I guess that's part of the, that's why some people get picked and don't. Some people could just pick it up really quick and they need the cream of the crop and, in Broadway. That must be pretty nerve wracking. No, I never, I don't know. I've been on stage and like in front of bands and everything, but to have like a big musical and all these people are there paying those tickets and that big money and like, you're up there and it's all quiet and it's all on you and you motivate. I never did acting as much where you have the lines and everything. So might be get nervous. You're going to forget your lines and stuff, but maybe it is just like being on stage with the band. I don't know. It just seems more, raw and naked. You're not able to hide behind the mistakes of other. I could always blame other people. I'm like, oh, they messed up, but but even doing my own solo show and stuff like that. I did it in Montage a couple of years ago. That was my first show ever by myself. I had backing tracks. I was doing it myself. And I was nervous, not because I was nervous being on stage, but I was doing it all myself. And it was just like you're more vulnerable when you're just doing everything by yourself. So for a long time, I just always had bands where, you could literally be like, oh, they messed up. You just blame someone else. But when you're up there by yourself, you can't blame anyone else. So big shout out to the Broadway stars out there and the musical directors. Green Day, unfortunately, not great. Remembering lines is great. Yeah, that's one thing. Because I'm watching 24. I love that series. So good with Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland. And you kind of once in a while I'll stop and I'll be like, how do they remember all these lines? Do you think they memorize them? Because I remember then reading, I know 24 was from like so long ago, but Dan told me, he's like, you like this show. We will always watch a show before we go to bed. It's like, let's get into a series. So I love 24. And Kiefer Sutherland is a musician, which I never knew. But I'm like thinking like, how do they remember all these lines? Are they going home and at night, the night before? Because in 24, they were saying they would shoot every day for the show was on the air for many, many years. He said, I was watching interviews after the show ended and he said he had to leave. And it was like every day for 7 years he was there. And you wonder, like, did they read them right before they go on? Or is it like, are they improvising a little bit where you're in the scene and it starts just coming out? Because like when you overthink it, you could forget the lines. But I mean, they also have a camera there. So it's just like, oh, cut. I forgot my line. Like, did they just do it piece by piece? That's one thing. I don't know if I would be good at that. I have done a little acting, and I have some things coming up I'm acting in actually. It's all to come. It's all to come. I have a new lease on life being here in Cleveland again. But I'm good at improvising more. But like if I'm not that great at memorizing lines, even music. Like sometimes I have to look at the notes unless I played it 100 times. I'm not that quick with catching on. Again, maybe I would get better if I did it more, but I would always kind of like, oh, I could look at the music. If I could look at music, I don't get nervous at all. But when I start to remember everything, so yeah, loads of homework. They definitely memorize for a month. We've been rehearsing 8 hours, 6 days a week. Yeah, for a month. Yeah. I guess that's the thing too. It is one of those things where it's homework and studying because the more you do something, the more it becomes like second nature. It's just probably like streaming, like, oh, I'll know where it goes and everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I think I was brought back to Cleveland for a reason because Dave, I never knew this. Maybe you know, but I never knew Cleveland was what they have like the second biggest theater district in the US. That's what next to New York City. Like a lot of these shows, it's called Playhouse Square and it's right downtown. And yeah, it gets easier. Here, I'll put these comments because I forget sometimes people might not see what we're talking about. But Dave is chatting in the chat room here because Dave is a music director for a musical and he's in Pennsylvania where I'm from. And he's, I guess teaching and guiding these actors and everything. So we're just talking about musicals and acting and music because memorizing the lines, I guess it is like anything. You just repeat, repeat, repeat. Yeah, I guess it would be if you're just doing it every night. It just kind of, that's the thing. I never did it, but I think I would maybe try to, I would sometimes you psych yourself out. You can't think about it, it just comes. That's weird. That's with music too. Like when you're on stage, I remember once it was like I was singing the Star Spangled Banner, and I never get nervous on stage, but like everyone's watching, I'm like, what if I forget the words? What if I forget the words? Especially that song, because you're like, oh, you're not like a patriotic, you don't know, but you just blank out. That happened to me one time, and it was during a piano recital, and I had practiced this song so much, and I was all proud of myself because it was like it was a classical song, and I practiced for months, and I got like to the it was in East Stroudsburg where I went to college, and it was like my piano grade, like my piano recital. It was called like the Scotch Irish poem or something. I should try to find it. 'Cause I used to be able to play this a long time ago. Probably could, but I forgot how it goes. But I was all proud of myself, and I got onto the stage, and everyone looked, and I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I blew it. It was not good. I was like, it was so bad. Even my teacher, he was so nice. I remember his name was Dr. Miller, and he was like, "Oh, so it wasn't your best performance, but you got done. You got through it." And like, the night before, I was like, "Oh, like show it." Like I was really good, and I psyched myself out. I don't know why. That happened to me one other time. It wasn't music, but I was going for an audition. It was a voiceover agency, and they liked my stuff. They heard it. They asked me to come in, and I got there, and I was like, my inner head was like, "Well, if I don't get this, what's going to happen if I don't?" And I just like I blew it. So I don't know, but yeah, I think it's supposed to be fun. So I think when I have too much pressure on me, I get like, oh, so but so with that said, let's take a little break and let's play a song. Which one should I play? These are some of my, like I say, some of this music. It's all oldies music. Um, just some of my. This is the music for me because I'm actually acting in this too. I'm nervous, but oh, cool. Dave's acting. Well, good luck. I want to hear more about this. I'm gonna look at. Yeah, definitely send me the link because I will look at. I've never heard of it before. Are you gonna come to Cleveland? You should come to Cleveland. What it is saying is, my calling in life. Sometimes you always end up where you're meant to be. And I said, when Dan lost his job and we were living in Maine, and we had bought a house there, and nothing works out as you think it's going to work out. And he lost his job, and then he started going on interviews because he was working remote. So he was able to stay in Maine. And yeah, I won't even get into it. But the house, everything is, you just live and learn. So mistakes and money and all this. So he lost his job, and he got a bunch of interviews for all over the country. There was one in Las Vegas. I was like, oh, I'm going to end up back in Las Vegas after this. There was one in, I think, California. There was one in Atlanta. He almost got the one in Atlanta. And I was like, well, Atlanta might be cool because movies and videos. And I'm like into all that stuff now. I like the behind the scenes and making videos now. So I actually write TV shows, and I have all these ideas. And I'm in a place where you can make it really come alive. But I remember then it was Ohio, and because he didn't get some of the other jobs, but he got a job offer in Ohio, and they paid for us to come out here and, do the job interview and go to Cleveland. And when we got to Cleveland, I was walking, I'm like, wow. Because at first I was like, Ohio, oh man, I don't know. It's like close to Pennsylvania, which would be good. Being in Maine was too far away from my mom. So I wanted it to be closer, but like Ohio did not seem exciting to me. I was like, oh man, I want to go somewhere, like maybe somewhere different, like a city, somewhere where there's some action after being in Maine where there was no action at all. I was like, oh gosh, let's go back to life, Ohio. But then when we got to, because I had never been to Ohio really. I mean, I've driven through it, but never spent time in Ohio. But then we got here and we stayed downtown Cleveland. And I was like, what? I was like, hope you get this job. I was like, this is awesome. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that what I had wanted for so long, even in LA, in New York, I came here There's freaking art studios everywhere. There's music spaces. There's 24-hour music places you could rent. I mean, the last time I had a music studio like I have now was in Las Vegas. It was a 24-hour lockout, and some places they don't have that. Scranton doesn't have that. That's where I was before that. Maine, like a lot. I could not believe all this, the opportunity and the stuff they had here, and then learning that Playhouse Square is right there, and then they said, "Oh, this is, one of the biggest um, theater districts in the country next to New York." And I was like, "No way!" And like looking for photographers, and not looking, but in Maine, when I was trying to do my music and everything, I realized like I was on a freaking island out to sea here, and there was nobody around. There was no creatives really. I mean, that were really. So it wasn't a big thing there. It was a different lifestyle. Fine. It just wasn't where I really was supposed to be because I couldn't find what I needed and there was not a lot of creative things around or options. But then I got here and I saw all this stuff and I was like, wait a minute, I got so inspired again. I was like, cool. Maybe I could be an extra in this. Maybe I could try out for this. They had podcast studios everywhere. They have the coolest spaces you could rent for your video shoots. Like everything's here. They have green screens. They have everything. And a theater district. And I just loved it. And the grit, it was just different. Like I've lived in New York City. Price. I mean, New York. I'm glad I lived there when I did. I don't really miss it and I don't want to go back. I think it's different now. It's not the same. And I have been back, but so I was happy I got there in the time I lived there. That's when I was supposed to be there and experienced it. And then I lived in LA. LA had cool things. I mean, I loved Hollywood for a while, but other stuff happened. You move on, you grow out of it, and then there's that. But the cool thing about Cleveland, then London I lived in. So those were the main music cities I lived in. Then I lived in Las Vegas too for a while. And not that I ever gave up because I never did. But when I moved back to Scranton, I didn't know if I'd ever be. I think I'm going to take my hat off. Yes. Sorry, guys. I was getting a little hot. Oh no, I kind of missed the hat now. Maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'm gonna put it back on. I'm so sorry. Hold on. We're gonna go to Cleveland. The luck of the Irish. Got lucky here. I don't know really why I did that, but I gotta keep the hat on. I think actually, reminds me of my dad. Yeah, but when I went back to Scranton, I didn't really ever think I'd end up in a city like that kind of a city where I would be like have a chance again. I mean a chance of what? But and I was okay with that. I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to Scranton. I built Holly's Playhouse and they did a whole series about it, the Passion Productions. I was okay with that. I was like, I went through a lot in the music and all that in LA. And Dave, you know probably some of what I'm talking about. And I just went home. My dad died, coronavirus hit, everything went, and I was like, but that was the moment where I was like, I have all these songs I want to write. Like, I just want to do this for me finally. And I did. And I and I learned all this stuff and I recorded the album and I was okay with not being in a city. I wasn't like, I want to go back to Hollywood and try to show people my demo. Like I'm good. I don't want it. I still want to create. I still want to put it out there. I want to do this for myself first and foremost. And as I said earlier, sure, I want other people to hear it. It'd be nice to get it out there. Okay. Not too much to ask, but all good. And then fast forward, I met Dan. We ended up picking a place to live that was not the right place, but we ended up going to Maine because I was like, ooh, something different, something totally different than what I've ever experienced. It was during COVID, so I didn't want to be in a big city. I was like, you know what? I've met my soulmate. I've met my partner. Let's buy a house. We're going to go somewhere where, there's land. I could grow things and all that. I could be a big fish in a small pond. Maybe I could just start a little piano lessons and I could do music gigs in the town. And, I didn't care. I was just like, hey, I'm good. I don't need to be a star. Like I learned a lot. I got some success and it was whatever. Anyway, went up there. That didn't really work out as planned. And then I realized like there was nothing, really no creativity, nothing. It wasn't for me at all. because it was lacking. And I thought I could maybe bring that to the town, but it's a long story. But it didn't really work out. And then when he lost his job, fast forward, we ended up in Cleveland. And you think sometimes, hmm, it took so long to get here and we lost a lot of money along the way and we lost a lot of it was so expensive moving and, yeah, yeah. Chasing things here. I'll put this comment up there. Chasing things in LA ends up being super empty. I'm still there, but not chasing anything. Yeah. And that's the way to be because, I like the sun. I like the weather. I miss the beaches. I liked all that stuff. But if you're not chasing anything, but that, and I think, are you from California originally? I believe you're from San Francisco. If my memory serves me correctly, I could be wrong. But you're from the West Coast. So people, trying to go out there and make it, probably more than anyway, LA is a town of flakes. It's not called Tinseltown for nothing. I mean, it's fake and everyone using each other. So if you don't have any family, yeah. If you don't have any family out there, you have no one to fall back on. Then you end up in situations that you normally never would have. And then it's all the money. And then so you can't just go and crash at mom's for a couple weeks while you figure it out. You're just like, okay, well, this predator came over. Or should I talk to him? It's just, so you end up where you're meant, like you said, if you're not chasing anything, it's good, but not people go there. People who aren't from there, I think, move there to chase something. I mean, it's just, they want to chase a dream or they want to be a star in Hollywood in the movies. They want to be in music. They want to be in, I mean, what else is there? There was tech stuff and stuff now, but I mean, it's the majority. You're going to LA to make it and to be a star, and so many people have gone and many have never returned, but I feel like if you're out there, you don't leave and you're not chasing anything because you don't have to leave. You probably have friends and family and you probably have good people, there, but it's hard to just go out with nobody. And, then you meet some people and then life takes its journeys and then you end up in Cleveland, Ohio. So that's the story. I ended up in Cleveland, was like, no, I don't know about Ohio. And then I got here, I was like, I got so inspired again. I was just like, I was so excited about Rock and Roll Studios. Even before we had an apartment here, I was like, they have a 24-hour music thing. I could put all my stuff and my music in there and my keyboard. And, I'm not using it as much right now and I need to use it more. But just that they had the options here. And it was just like, this is cool. I'm not, like, again, you said I'm building something with the radio network and the TV network, where our podcast platform and everything. But it's like when certain things just fall in your lap, just the opportunity here. It's like, I didn't pick this. So that's what I was saying earlier. You try to control things. And sometimes you just gotta not give up. You gotta give up. Not in a desperate, sad way, like, I give up. Oh, I give up on life. Everything's wrong. It's not that, but it's just like, you gotta laugh. I don't know. Where the heck am I gonna end up next? I don't know. Whatever. You try to plan and I thought, oh, we gotta go buy a house. That's the right thing to do. And no, it's just certain things because you're trying. I gotta figure this out. Okay, maybe this will be my plan. It's just more like you could set goals, but there's many roads to get there. And it just which road is gonna take you there? Is it destiny? As you said, let's go Cleveland. He says, and Dave said, and it's very true, the Bay Area you were from. And this is very true. There are no mistakes. We all end up where we're supposed to be. And that's Dave. That's my album is called A Comedy of Errors. That's the name of the album. And what's a name for errors? Mistakes, right? It's a comedy of mistakes. And there's a lot of symbolism there. There's a lot to it. It's like these errors that we think are errors. In the time, they're devastating. They're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. My life's falling apart. And everything directs you to eventually where you're meant to be. And it doesn't feel like that in the time. But that's, if you could look at it like that, it's growth. And it's hard at the time. It's brutal sometimes. And you're like, why did this happen? There's certain why did Dan lose his job? It was horrible, but it brought us here. And you could apply that to a lot of other things. Why didn't I get that job? There's divine protection, I believe in as well. I could have said, oh man, I wish we went to Cleveland first. Why did we go to Maine? We wasted a lot of money. We wasted a lot of time. But you meet people too. We met Amy and Aaron out there. And there's things money can't replace. There's experiences that you're meant to have, that you're meant to grow. Just when you think that the dark is like, oh no, I've learned enough. I've learned enough lessons, God. Oh, no, you have not. Because you're not in control. You're almost there, but you got to go through this. And then so if you can look at it like that, it's just like, oh, like the shitstorm coming. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. And as soon as you say, oh, I'm spiritual, I got to figure it out. And they're like, yeah, right. Here's another one for you. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose this. You're going to lose all the money. You're going to lose that. And so that's the comedy of errors. You've got to kind of laugh at it. You've got to, and it's not easy in the moment, but when you laugh at the cosmic design, it's kind of like, it becomes fun. That's what it's a game. Life could be a game. Are you good at it? Like, life is a game. And you learn as you go. Do you give up on the game? Here, we'll play my song covers because this is exactly what my albums. Letting go makes things way easier. Yeah. My first song is covers because it's saying life is a gift. It's a game we play. And it's a blessing sometimes getting older because you learn from your mistakes and then you get better at the game. Okay. Am I going to quit completely? You're still alive. Till you're not breathing, you're in the game. You're here. You're alive. And it's a game and it beats you up. And, you might take you a long time to you through the freaking, what's it called? The game board. I'm so screw this game. And you take the freaking board and you throw it in the closet and it, it breaks and you're just sitting there under the covers and you're just crying. And you're like, oh, I don't want to play that game. But, eventually you get the game back out and you learn, okay, well, I went this way that time. It didn't work. So maybe this time, now I see that little troll in the bush. It's like Mario Brothers, right? Where the coin is and what warp zone to go down. You play the game and you get better. That's why a gift of getting a little older is better. And if you're lucky, people cry, that's my birthday. I'm older again. Oh my God. But you're still here. A lot of people don't even get to be here past a certain age. Like, life is tragic. It's like, oh my God, there's so much to life. And that's what this podcast is about. And I'm Mahady and you're watching Hollistics. Pleased to be here with you. And man, I can talk. It's almost 2 hours. I don't know. This is fun. Here, let me put my cover song on. Take a drink of my prebiotic Pepsi. And we're going to do my ticker here. Okay, not a ticker. I want to do a media and I'm going to play a couple videos for you. Here we go. Let's play a little commercial video clips. And we are going to do... I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't be pausing. I should be talking. Because I want to take a minute to check, see if there's anything in the Rumble. And here we go.
Life is a gift, the game we play. What choice do you have other than to fight and let go of these roots? They'll hold you so tight, you claw your way up, back on solid ground, then the darkness comes to kick you back down.
It's weird. I'm getting used to this. And you can usually just play them back to back. Here's a couple more. When you're truly independent, creating music isn't just art. It's devotion. It's late nights, long days, and pouring your own time, energy, and money into something you believe in, something you feel called to bring into the world. Right now, the world is overflowing with content, music everywhere, so much of it generated in seconds by machines. And somewhere in that noise, real artists are fighting to be heard. The ones who spent years learning their craft, the ones who turned their pain into songs, the ones who kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Most people scroll past without thinking about the soul behind the sound. But if you ever find music that moves you, that heals something in you, that makes you feel less alone, remember, there's a real person behind it. Because good music isn't noise. It's something sacred. If you discover music that speaks to you, Support the people who made it if you can. When you saw my missing file, that wasn't there when I played it last. Technology, I tell you. Here's another one. I'm pulling back the curtain to let you in on a truly rare behind the scenes experience. Welcome to the Comedy of Errors podcast, your exclusive look at the music, the story, and the journey that goes into making it all happen. This podcast is for those who want to go deeper, explore the themes of life and music, and be part of something truly special. For just $10 a month, you'll get access to this one-of-a-kind community and help support the release and promotion of my new album. If you want in, head over to buymeacoffee.com and become a backstage member. This is the only place I'll be sharing this journey. See it all unfold in real time before it's released to the world. I can't wait to share this with you. And I'm back. And that's what I said, the Comedy of Errors podcast, that is exclusively, I'm going to do that only on my Buy Me a Coffee. It's a backstage pass. That is a members only thing. And it's $10 a month. And I'm going to be doing a lot of exclusive things on there, including showing you songs before they're out. Hole in Our Hearts is already up there. It's a lyric video I did. There's also some interviews and there's some exclusive behind the scenes stuff. And that's, like I said, this is all just growing and I'm back out here finally and, trying again and all that. But that podcast is going to be just about music, a lot about my own music and album and the stories behind it, how it relates to life. And there's a lot of different themes of the shadows and the light and all the stuff we're talking about. There's a lot of spiritual themes in my music and I want to talk about them. And it's not just about me. Like that's very ego, like, look, I don't want it just to be about me, but thinking also maybe having other interviews of artists and stuff like that and other people who struggled maybe in the traditional music industry and people who are really doing their own thing and independently, because it is a day and age where we can do so much ourselves, which is why there's great things about the internet and AI at this day and age, but it's that weird mix. So that's what the Comedy of Errors podcast is about. And I want to say right now, I want to say a little applause here. Wait, hold on. If I could find it, I want to show this one. There it is. Hold on. Thank you so much. Aw. I got a donation and I got a support. Thank you so much, Smurglo. Aw, you didn't have to do that, but happy St. Paddy's Day to you as well. Thank you so much. So appreciate that. One more time. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. All right. And he went over to buymeacoffee.com and he scanned this. And it's one of those things where you could drop $1. You could drop a one-time donation thing. If you're enjoying the show, it helps support, it helps us stay on the air and pay for all this stuff. And I know, but what I was going to say, to make it fun, there's an incentive. If you drop a tip in the tip jar, even if it's $1, anything, any amount, every little penny helps, and I appreciate it so much. If you enjoy it and you drop $1, you will automatically be on my website too as well. Again, trying to make money to promote the new album, to do all this stuff I'm doing. It costs a fortune. If you have a song, if you have a song that you want me to record, I could sing it. I'm gonna sing it and record it for you specially and send it to you. And that's just something that I'm offering. The price is on the website. No one bought one yet, but if they do, you're gonna get a song recorded by me of whatever song you want. You pick it and I'll learn it and I'll record it and I'll send you a finished copy of it and it's dedicated to you. And I'll play it on the show and all that stuff. So those are things to come. Why is there an X right there? Remove the screen. I don't want to remove me. I'm back. Okay. Learning, learning. Why is this here all of a sudden? There's like an X in the middle of my face, but if you guys can't see it, then it's fine. I could live with it, I guess. Oh, there it went. It went away. Okay, good. So yeah, so dropping a tip will help you automatically win. You'll be in the running for a handmade lyric sheet. And those are very special to me. I don't know if I'm going to be making any more, maybe if down the line, but those are from a very special time. It was during Holly's Playhouse. I won't go into the story again, but they're very meaningful and I have about 25 of those left on my shelf and I've been saving them all these years. I've been taking them with me because I was like, one day I'm putting my music out. And one day I'm going to give these and make these lyric sheets. And yeah. So let's do a little music break because this was Smurglio's idea and it was a good idea. We should play some music. And I'm an old head. I'm an oldie person, but I love doing music that Mario Bro analogy. Yes. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Dave's definitely an 80s guy like me or older, but you get it. Okay, yeah. Send me some links. I guess Dave went, but it was nice chatting with you, Dave. I'm glad you were in here. Thank you. And he says also, we're simply visiting the earth. As long as you're here, anything is possible. This is what my whole podcast is about. Like Dr. Wayne said earlier in the video I played, you know, life is a game. And if you're here and you're alive, anything's possible. So never lose the dream. It doesn't matter how old you are if you think it's too late. If there's something you want to do, like even if it's something, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, I mean, if your dream is to be a famous singer and you're like 70, it's probably maybe not going to happen. But if there's something you didn't do or you think you can't do, like, whatever it is, cook that masterpiece or write a book or whatever, there's certain things you can definitely do. So the point is anything really is possible. But when you tap into the more spiritual side and the good and the God and everything, there's always something guiding you and you're here to do something. There's always like Dr. Wayne says, don't die with the song still in you. And speaking of music, let's play a couple songs and then I probably will, I guess, end it because I have been on for a while. And there's no time frame. I could do what I want because it's my show. But I will be back tomorrow. So maybe we'll play a song or two. And I pick music that, like I said, just makes music that I feel like they don't make anymore. When I say they, like when's the last time you hear a song like a really good soulful song? Now again, this might not be everybody's cup of tea. Some people like metal and they don't like this stuff, but this is the kind of music that always makes me feel good. Every time I listen to these songs, it makes me feel good. So this one I'm gonna play. This song I actually did a cover of. It's on an old an album, and it was never on an album, but I just did a cover of it because I played the harmonica. I played the harmonica as well, and I would play this song, and I played the piano, and I just think it was such a nice song. I would listen to it when I was single, and like I said, sometimes this world is really hard, and it's a lonely world, and people aren't connected as much as it used to be, or it's more of a disconnected age than ever, and it's called The Lonely People. I can find it. Here it is. I gotta still be here. I'm gonna add it to the stream. But yeah, I love the piano part and I love the harmonica, and so we'll play that. Maybe we'll play another song, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening on this very special edition of Hollistics, St. Patrick's Day edition. Why isn't it playing? I want it to play from the beginning here. It just went to the harmonica part. Hold on, bear with me. I wish it would just. If it plays, I'm going to bring it to the beginning. So hold on. Hold on one second. I don't know why is it playing like. I love that one too. I really don't know. Aaron says, in the meantime, Aaron asks a question. Do you have to pay for the royalties to cover the song? I hope not, because I never paid anything. No, I don't think so. I think I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know if you I don't think so because people do covers on YouTube all the time. I think it was something like if you were gonna do a cover and then I was gonna use it in a movie or in a TV show, you have to get a sync license. Now, I think you might not be able to make money on covers. I'm actually not sure. We're gonna have to look into that. But I don't think you have to pay royalties to cover a song. And then there are the other rules too, like if you change it a bit or you do your own version of it, so like you own the master of it. There's different rules. I was talking about this last night. There's a lot of different rules. But now I'm wondering, how do I get this song on here with and it's starting at the beginning? I know this is my problem to figure out. And I really want to play it because it's a great song. Okay, I might have to do it while it plays and they're gonna try to bring it into the beginning.
Thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know until you try. Well, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm back to stay.
Okay, so you know the song. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete it and put it in again. Because maybe by doing that, we can hear it from the beginning. Because that's the part where it really kicks in. I love that part. But you gotta get the beginning part. If it starts off, it kind of sounds a little sad, but then it gets better. It gets like it really picks up. And I love when the harmonica kicks in. I'm gonna add it again and see if it'll go from the beginning here. Let's try it again. Hello, everybody. Let's try it one more time. If this doesn't work, I'm not sure why. There we go. Here's everybody. All those lonely hearts. You don't have to be lonely tonight. I'm here with you. We'll be lonely together.
This is for all the lonely people.
You're never alone.
Thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky. This is for all the single people thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know until you try. Well, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm back to stay. Well, I'm on my way back home. Get it? This is for all the lonely people thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. I'll never take you down or never give you up. You'll never know until you try.
I love that song. You see why I love it? The words are so good. I should try to dig that. Oh, let's say it again. Once again. Sorry. I gotta dig that out. I have a cover of that. I should re-record it. Like I said, I was single for so many years. I mean, I had some really bad relationships. You might as well be single when you're in a bad relationship when they don't get you. I've had a couple good ones, but like so many times I was like, oh, I love, and I would play it. I just love that song. And it's so true. Single or married, if you're not married or you're looking for the partner, you know, it's just, I always say you're never alone. You really aren't. And I think life could be really lonely. And even if you're single, I mean, I was single for so long. I met finally my man, my soulmate, and it took so long. I never thought I was going to meet him. So I really do understand what it feels like when you're like alone and you're like looking for someone and you want a friend and you want that partner to experience life with. I get it, you know, but in those moments where you don't have that person, you fill yourself up with other things and other friends. And, that's a whole other episode with relationships. We kind of touched on it last night. We'll talk more about that. But I told you I have a lot of experience and I would, so much of my life, I just felt so alone for so long. And it was really when I, got more into spirituality and God and faith and finding that stuff. And sometimes you have to go to the lonely, darkest place to find that. But I just love that song. So maybe I'll dig out the cover and I'll post it on my Buy Me a Coffee and everyone can listen to it there. If you become a member, I'll bring it to my supporters, it's like $2 a month or something. We'll put it there. And let's see, maybe, okay, one more song. This is another one. This is one I thought about it last night. This is a Billy Joel song. And I used to listen to this. I love this song. And I don't know if anyone, I'm sure people know it. I don't think it was one of his big hits. I don't know. Maybe it was. But I mean, it's not like Piano Man or Uptown Girl, but it was like, I heard this song and I talk about soul and heart. And it's just like, and it was funny because when I met Dan, he knew this song. I was like, you know this song? I was literally printed out the lyrics and the chords and I was singing it. I was going to change it to but I just think it's such a good song. So it's one of my favorite Billy Joel songs. And I just think it's such a great song. So I want to play it. And maybe you probably do know it or maybe you never heard of it, but I'll play that one too. Like I said, I like to play music that just fills my soul. And these oldies, they really had it down. That's what I say when I talk about AI. It's like, you cannot replicate soul. You just can't. I mean, this came from people's pain. This came from people's heart. You can't replicate that. Okay, let's find it. And I hope it doesn't do the same thing where it was just like cutting in and out. I might just have to share it again so it doesn't do that. So give me 1 second because it's worth it, guys. And in the meantime, head over to buymeacoffee.com if you're enjoying the show. I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. I am Hollis. I was going to say I'm Hollistics. I'm Hollis, and you're listening to Hollistics. Okay, let's try this again because I want to get the full experience here. Okay. All right. I don't want to play it with it. Where did it go? I'm sorry, everyone. Maybe I should take a little commercial. Yeah, I'll try to take a commercial and then add it to the screen. Okay, so let's do that. See, this would come in handy if you had a producer and someone else to help you, as Dan knows. Dan knows more than anyone when you have to do everything yourself and produce your show. And it doesn't always go super smooth, but it's only my 4th time. We're getting there. It'll become more like second nature. Let's see, one I didn't play. I need to play a bit of a longer one so I could find this video. Here we go. Here you go. Support the soul behind the song. When you're truly independent, creating music isn't just art. It's devotion. It's late nights, long days, and pouring your own time, energy, and money into something you believe in, something you feel called to bring into the world. Right now, the world is overflowing with content, music everywhere. So much of it generated in seconds by machines. And somewhere in that noise, real artists are fighting to be heard. The ones who spent years learning their craft. The ones who turned their pain into songs. The ones who kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Most people scroll past without thinking about the soul behind the sound. But if you ever find music that moves you, that heals something in you, that makes you feel less alone, remember, there's a real person behind it. Because good music isn't noise. It's something sacred. If you discover music that speaks to you, support the people who made it, if you can. When you're It's been a long time in the making, and we poured everything into building this platform. but the past no longer matters. What matters is what we do from here. This was built by everyday people, sick of being suppressed, censored, and banned. It wasn't built by far-removed millionaires or trust fund kids. It was built by people willing to take a stand and create a space that actually matters. We're calling on those guided not by ego or personal gain, but by purpose and drive. People who don't ask, how can you help me? But ask, how can we help each other? Too many times, the world rewards those who take without giving back. We want something different. Our mission is to lift voices that have been silenced, to share the stories that rarely get heard, and to create a space where freedom, truth, and authenticity thrive. This isn't just a network, it's a community, a movement built by the people, for the people. The next chapter is about collaboration, courage, and amplifying what truly matters. That's where the future begins, and we want you in it. Check that out, VOPUSARadio.com. We are also broadcasting live on my network, Dan and I's network, Voice of the People USA Radio. And I'll talk more about that when I close the show shortly. But I want to play this song that I was talking about before it disappears and does something weird. So here we go. This is Billy Joel. Enjoy. Get your drink back out.
It's all about knowing what's
God, she did it again. It's so annoying. There's always one kind of kink here. Show. Why does it like I wanted to start from the beginning? Because you can't just start it in the middle of the song. There must be a way here. Oh, there we go.
At night, she waits for me in silence. She gives me all her tenderness and takes away my pain. And so far she hasn't run, though I swear she's had her moments. She still believes in miracles while others cry in vain. It's all about soul. It's all about faith and a deeper devotion. It's all about soul. 'Cause under love is a stronger emotion. She's gotta be strong. 'Cause so many things getting out of control should drive her away. Why does she stay? It's all about soul. She turns to me sometimes and she asks me what I'm dreaming. And I realize I must have gone a million miles away. And I ask her how she knew to reach out for me at that moment. And she smiles because it's understood. There are no words to say. It's all about soul. It's all about knowing what someone is feeling. The woman's got soul. The power of love and the power of healing. This life isn't fair. It's gonna get dark. It's gonna get cold. You gotta get tough, but that ain't enough. It's all about soul. promise of human kindness. There are many who have fallen. There are some who still survive. As she comes to me at night and she tells me her desires, and she gives me all the love I need to keep my faith alive. It's all about soul. It's all about joy that comes out of sorrow. It's all about soul. Who's standing now? Who's standing tomorrow? You got to be hard. As hard as the rock in that old rock and roll. That's only part you know in your heart. It's all about
There you go. See, wasn't that one worth it? That might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I love that song because I think it goes very well. Okay, I got to get used to doing that. Got to stop it. But hey, I said this is a podcast and a talk show and a radio show for real humans out there with the soul, and they remember and they want soul because you cannot buy soul. And I told you, we talked about that last night, and money and all that. You cannot buy that with AI. You cannot buy that. You know, it's just like soul. Soul is the heart, the thing that keeps you going when you want to quit, the thing that God, it's like soul. That's what we are. It's like I have heart and soul. And that's why I love that song so much. You can see the themes of my songs. I want to remind people, you know, to have that, the soul and the connection. And that's what's more important, at least to me, and what's most important in life, I think, the reconnection movement up there, you know, real humans only. It's kind of crazy that we're saying that in this day and age, like, oh, we got to contain the robots because people are forgetting, you know, it's just, this is what this podcast is for, to grow that little community of real people, real soul. Everybody's welcome, obviously. And I hope some of the younger generation, maybe they find their way to me eventually. Hey, who's that lady? I'm probably like an old lady to them, but like, that lady, what did she talk? What's that song? What do you mean? You know, because you know, they're younger now and they're in this generation where it's like they didn't get a lot of this music, you know, and they didn't. How are they going to know about it if we don't play it and show them? Like, there's good music that you just can't get these days. I mean, there probably are some people out there, but like me, how am I going to get heard on TikTok? You know, there probably is a Billy Joel out there. But what are the odds are we going to discover a Billy Joel this day and age? It's so hard. It's so hard to break through. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing with Voice of Freedom Records, putting myself out in there. And I want to find the other people my age who have that soul still, who have that song that moves people, you know, because like I said, it's the saddest thing because some of the best musicians, the best songwriters. Oh, there's another song that's so good. I'll have to play it another day. It's called Angels. And it's a song that it's a guy, Robbie Williams, sang. I love this song. I wanted to do a cover of it. He was in the UK. I think, I forget the band. I forget his band. He was in a big boy band. But he didn't write that song. He covered it and he made it famous. And it's just such a good song. But the guy who wrote it, I remember reading the story. I could be getting it wrong. He might be Irish or Scottish or English or something. But I think he wrote it in a pub or he wrote it and then he sold it to him for, I don't know, a couple $100. I could have this wrong. Maybe it was a couple $1,000, but he sold the rights to that song. And I mean, it became huge. So I'll have to play that song. But my point is saying that, the Billy Joels of the world and I don't know who else is an example. There's the Americas. That was America who I played earlier. Or what are other, I mean, uh, I can't think of them off my top of my head, but it's harder for those people. They might still exist, but could you imagine like Billy Joel going on TikTok like before he got famous? Like this is what you're navigating. So that's why I started Voice of Freedom Records. Put myself out there first, and the music I wrote is from the heart, and it's not generated by AI. It was generated from me. It took me a lifetime to write. It was 20 years in the making. Not the album itself, but like the material to make all these songs and do all this stuff. It's a lifetime of experience. There's pain, there's hurt in there and all that stuff. And you don't just get that when you're, 15 years old and you blow up on TikTok and that's our options. It's just like this soul comes from hurt, it comes from pain, it comes from love, it comes from life, it comes from experience. And that's why you have these great songs. You have a couple other ones, but I'll save them for tomorrow. Or should I play one more? I mean, it is my show. I guess I could play one more. I love this song too. And I don't see any more chatting. Oh, look it. Aaron says, I'm sorry I missed this, Aaron. Aw, Aaron says, I'm saving up because I have a song I want you to sing. Well, let me know, it's that's the thing. I don't like charging people money. You've already done so much. You just send me the song. Let me know what it is. And maybe I could do it. I could do it sooner. We'll see if I could. I'm sure I could figure it out. We'll see what it is. I would love to know what the song is. You let me know. Um, okay, so maybe we'll do one more song just because we're in the music mode. It is St. Patrick's Day. It's a little bit longer episode than usual. I mean, it's only my fourth time. So the first episode was 2.5 hours, but I had the reconnection video in there. The second night was supposed to be a little longer. There's a technical difficulty. That was about an hour. It was cut short because of the technical difficulty. And then Dan was going on after me. So, and then last night it was about 2 hours. And now tonight it's almost 3 hours. Whoa. But I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. You could, Hollis will be here for you. Your human Hollis will show up for you because you're never alone. And again, I say that because I really do mean it. I think this is could be a very lonely world, and there's people that people get forgotten about. And I hate that. So I said this is for older people, but it's for younger people. But I think it's more for older people, like people my age, older, and a little bit younger. Obviously, everybody's welcome, and you want more people to come. It's not excluded anyone, but we're playing Billy Joel. We're talking about older things. That's why I'm here, and that's why I do it. And I will be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I guess apparently this is on Instagram because I want to thank Dave Tweedy for coming in. I want to thank Aaron for being here. Tim is watching. Of course, a big thank you to hold on. My banner. Big thank you to Smurglio in the chat room there. Show. Big hugs. I love you. Thank you, Smurglio. I just your screen name because it's missing a couple of your vowels. But Smurglio, thank you. And we had Phil in here earlier. Elias popped in. There's probably some other people I didn't see, but it's cool. We are working out the kinks, guys. We are on Facebook. Apparently, we're on. And what comments are you going to see? Right? Are you going to make it to the comment of the day? You better be careful. I have a microphone now. And if you say something really mean, I'll show it. But I'm going to try to highlight, hopefully, some of the nice comments. I don't really like to look at the comments because I said earlier, people get mean. But there are some nice ones. You just have to focus on the good. And What else was I saying here in the chat room? Again, thank you everyone for being here. I think I said Timothy. Oh, and Joe, Mega Dirtbike. He popped in too. And he said, I meant to read this and I forgot. Joe said he has no internet signal, but he says, I was 3 years old when that song came back. It brings back the memories. Yes, I remember that Billy Joel song. I have not heard that one forever. Good selection. Aw. There's another song. I mean, there's a lot. Billy Joel has a great songs. He has a lot of great songs. I used to play the Piano Man all the time because I would play it on the piano and I played the harmonica too. So I could play them both. And I was the piano man and I'd always wanted to, I should do that again. Dan knows. Dan's heard me play it because I've remembered it since college. I would be playing the piano and the harmonica. I play the harmonica, so I like to play songs with harmonica in it. And yeah. But like music like that, it's just certain songs, and I'm sure it's different for everyone. Like I said, I feel bad, but some people may not like this music at all. It's like not up their alley. But this is a little bit more for the oldies out. I love the 60s, 70s, the classic, like the classics. Like would it be called folk rock? I don't know, but America until like what is that? That's like folk rock, but yeah, so this is one of the songs that always I played it today and I was just like, it always makes me just talk about awaking your soul. I just love this song. So I'm gonna play this one. If we're gonna have the problem where it's gonna let me just try to add it again. I hate when it just freaking what's it called? It it just plays from the middle. You don't get the full effect. You can't just play a song from the middle. You have to play from the beginning. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. I hope this plays. Let's see. Hold on. We're going. Where is it? Add to stream. And it's coming, guys. I've been worth the wait. Let's see if it goes from the beginning. You gotta play it from the beginning. And I bet you a lot of people have heard the song. I didn't ever watch the video actually. I never saw the video, I should say, until not that long ago. And it's funny because I used to live in England. And okay, it's like name that tune. Is Timothy Shea here? Timothy's good at this. I know. Like you hear those notes, you probably already know what the song is. But remember that song that show Name That Tune? My mom always used to watch that. We hear like three notes and you could guess the song. So you already know what the song is. But I didn't watch that video. I heard the song for a lot of my life when I was younger, of course. But I only watched the video like a couple, maybe last year. I don't know why I just discovered it. It came on a playlist and I was like, oh, I love that song. But I used to live in the UK and I remember I recorded at Abbey Road Studios. I remember I actually knew Ringo Starr's daughter. I was at her house. Her husband is from Pennsylvania. Talk about a small world. When I was out there and I was like, we're going to write a song with her husband. And I went over and her name is Lee. Her name is Lee Starkey. And she, her husband, her father is Ringo Starr. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I was there. So when I saw this video, it was just like, oh, wow. It's just that I don't know where exactly this was shot. Obviously, I think it was in England somewhere, but she's just dancing and stuff. But let me see if I could find it because I'm going to end this at 10. So let me do one little commercial and try to find this again. And then we will say our goodbyes and I will play the closing song. Okay. Here we go. How about, what do you want to say? What did you like this music? Here, we'll play this one. Are you liking the music in the show? The music you hear in my videos and during the show is licensed through Epidemic Sound, an amazing platform for creators. If you make videos, podcasts, or content of your own, head over to hollismahady.com, go to the podcast page, and sign up for a free trial using my link. And if you're just a listener looking for new music, you'll also find my playlist of favorite songs I use in this show. Signing up through my link supports the show and the musicians too. Okie dokie. How about this one? Don't forget. Are Are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis-Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen. I'm still here. Proceed. I'm just trying to get these videos up. Like I said, they're all here, but it keeps playing it in the middle. And it's just not the same effect. It is not quite the same effect when it plays it from the middle and not the beginning. But bear with me. We will work out these kinks. And maybe one day, I will have a producer who will do this for me. And I will say, cue up the video. Play that video now. Because a lot of people have that. And we're going to get that. Because I'm not going to settle for less. I should only be entertaining. I do things myself. Otherwise, they don't get done all the time. Download your free copy of the Reconnection Movement today. Just head over to my website, www.hollismahady.com. Go to the podcast sections, scroll to the bottom of the page, and enter your email to get your free copy instantly. Now more than ever, it's important that we reconnect and support real human creators and real people. There we go.
What I feel, I can't say, but my love is up for you any time of day. It's all love that you need.
Now I'm remembering. Remove it from the stream. No? There we go. I'm going to remove it. Oh, I think I get the hang of it. Yeah, it kind of goes on at the end there, but I don't know. I just always love that song. It always makes me want to dance. Songs that like, doom, doom, you just want to dance. Like this one song, the Epidemic Sound song, little commercial. This one makes me want to dance. Are you liking the music in the show? The music you hear in my videos and during the show is licensed through Epidemic Sound, an amazing platform for creators. If you make videos, podcasts, or content of your own, head over to hollismahady.com, go to the podcast page, and sign up for a free trial using my link. And if you're just a listener looking for new music, you'll also find my playlist of favorite songs I use in this show. Signing up through my link supports the show and the musicians too. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it has been a pleasure spending these 3 hours with you. And you, if you're out there listening, I see there's some people in there. To all of you guys, thank you for spending your time with me, for choosing to be here. It means a lot. It's always nice to write in the comments. And I think, what do you guys think? It's a step up from last night. Just as far, I mean, I guess it's more me like navigating this whole thing. But what I like about this one better is easier to play videos. Even though we have that problem, I have to work out that. It's a little easier to play videos. I like that there's a chat in there, because even last night I couldn't see any chats. So at least I could see. I can't see Rumble, but I'm on Instagram, obviously, and Facebook. I got 2 or 3 people who I wouldn't have gotten if I wasn't streaming out to them. So that's a win. We like that. What else is in there? The tickers, the banners, things like that. And yeah, I think overall we're gonna get this. It's gonna get a little more smoothly flowing here. But yeah, I had a great time. And again, thank you everyone for being here tonight. And a big shout out again to Smurgles. I'm only trying to pronounce it without the vowels. Smurgles. Thank you so much for your donation, for buying me a coffee. And I will check. I don't know if anyone else did actually, because I have to check. But if anyone did, I will mention it tomorrow. And with that, my goal is getting closer, because I said once I hit $100, I think last night it was at like 22 or something. So when I'll update that tomorrow, I'll get the number and at least maybe like try to write it on the screen. So, because I'm true to my word, when we get to $100, when I made $100 from this stream, it's only night 4. When I make $100, I'm going to do a giveaway, and then I'm going to send that to someone. Now, if you're in the UK, you may have to pay for shipping. That's the only thing. But other than that, if someone wins in America, I'm going to send it to you, no shipping or anything like that. So don't worry about that. I already have that all planned out. But once we get to 100, and, we just keep coming back, you just keep coming back. And if you like the show and you could share it too. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, you could share it. Hopefully this still just saves to YouTube and I don't have to go and put it up. There's just so much. You have to upload it and this and that. So if it's up there, share it out. It always helps if you share it, because then more people see it. I don't have the millions of dollars to boost and promote like I've talked about 100 times. Just help each other. If you like the show, share it out to someone, email it to them, let them know. This girl, Hollis, she talks about the 80s and things like that. Real human connection. And we have fun together, So I love you all. I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. This was a very special edition of the Hollistics and for St. Patrick's Day here. The luck of the Irish. I hope everyone found their pot of gold today. Had a good day, wearing their green. If you're out there partying, drinking up, be safe. Be safe. And a big blessing and shout out to my dad and to Beanty up there. We miss you dearly. Love you. Love you so much. Think about you every day. But St. Patrick's Day parade and St. Patrick's Day, always remembers the fond memories. Try not to get sad, because you think about people and you remember the good times. They wouldn't want you to be sad. They wouldn't. But anyway, love you all. I'm going to close this with our go-to song. This is Lights by Mercy Street, I believe, is the band. And I could have that wrong. I'll double check that. But yep, this is our outro. And again, have a wonderful night. I'm Hollis Mahady, your host. If you like what I'm doing, check out the website, hollismahady.com. Check out the Buy Me a Coffee. You could throw a tip in the tip jar. You could subscribe. You could become a member for even bonus podcasts, my music podcast. Head over there, check it all out. There's a lot of free content you could also watch. You don't just have to pay. You can look at some of my content. Some of the more exclusive posts are for if you become a member. It's a few bucks a month. Helps me out. And there's plenty more to come. So thank you so much again. I am signing off of Hollistics here, and enjoy the outro video of Lights. And I will see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You take care. Have a great night and a great day tomorrow. And I'll see you then. Bye. Thank you for watching Hollistics, hosted by me, Hollis Mahady. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You can make a one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
Lights shining from the window late at night. I'm just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kinda hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hold, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. When you wish upon a star just to find out it's a plane, and when you think you've come so far, but you're standing still again, and you finally understand. When the lights go out, everything is clear. When the lights go out, I could finally see. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you Try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.
Thank you for watching Hollistics, hosted by me, Hollis Mahady. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You can make a one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
Lights shining from the window late at night. I'm just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kinda hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hold, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. When you wish upon a star just to find out it's a plane, and when you think you've come so far, but you're standing still again, and you finally understand. When the lights go out, everything is clear. When the lights go out, I could finally see. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hope, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.